There we go. Should be able to hear me now. Sorry about that, guys. That was whenever there's any update at all with any of the OBS stuff, it always destroys my microphone. So yeah, so everyone's saying you can't hear me. All right, welcome to episode 54. I was just saying that I've got a sore throat at the moment, so hopefully I'll be okay through this particular session. Got a bit to cover with what's going on. Carrie Munch is saying, Daz, you got a feeling you're talking to yourself, yeah. All right, so I guess the big thing is, at the moment, it's the Warhammer Festival. I think it is, actually. Why isn't this showing up? Why are they not showing the Warhammer Festival? Is it finished? Is the Skulls finished? Is the Skulls finished? Hang on, let's just go to Gladius. Because Gladius was free. I'm hoping it still is. Yeah, it's still free. All right, so let's just cover that one to start off with. Yeah, there we go. Festival. I think it finishes in 2 days' time, but I may be wrong. It's very hard to find the information. Yeah, so hi Jennison, Battle Mode, Papolo, and Curry Muncher, and also Drexy. Welcome, guys. And yeah, so anyway, we've got the Skulls Festival is currently on, where they just go through essentially all the different things that are coming to the Warhammer universe in wargaming. Which and Gladius at the moment is free to keep. So if you don't have Gladius, download it. I forget when. I really don't know when this actually does finish. When the actual this special finishes. But this is not an Epic Game Store download. This is the actual Steam download. So if you are not I know that they've had it for free on Epic at different times, but this is now the first time that it's actually come to Steam as a free download. I have to drink a lot today. Sorry, with my throat. So and it's an amazing game. The base game is the only one that's free, by the way. So the actual franchise. Now this is all Australian dollars. So forget about the actual amounts. They're going to be a little bit less if you're in the US, and a lot less if you're in the in getting euros or whatever. So that will be so the actual indication, the A dollars there is Australian dollars. But essentially, you've got the Firepower pack, which also just came out this week. So that's been added in. You've got then the older ones like Adeptus Sororitas, which came out in December of last year. This one is 20% off. Escalation pack in through there again, which is more units. Adeptus Mechanicus. Then you start to sort of get some of the DLCs that are coming in at about 40% off. So you've got Adeptus Mechanicus, Craftworld Eldiri, etc., all the way down through there. Fortification pack. So and I tend to find that the packs that actually bring in the actual factions, I think, are really, really good value. So at 40%, sometimes they have more specials. I think they go even more than that. But if you are wanting just the base game to see if you like it, you certainly can do a lot with just the base game. It's got 4 factions. I think it'll show it down in here. I hope. Yeah, there they all are. So you've got the Orcs, you've got the Astra Militarum, or the Imperial Guard, Necrons, and the Space Marines. So you've got like 4 very, very good factions just in the base game. So I thought I'd just let you know that one is actually there. So yeah, Ace is saying salutations, so hi. Battle Mode's in saying that Gladius being free is an absolute no-brainer. Yeah, Fortification pack is a good one. Makes sieges a lot faster. It's one of those things where there are like. If you're new to the game, don't bother getting any of the DLCs initially. Just get the base game, see if you like it. Play a couple of games, don't just play one, because you will find that the first game that you play is going to be very, very difficult for you. The game is not an easy game. Even on easy, it's still not an easy game. Hi Bubo, how you going? So anyway, yeah, plays one of the 4 iconic Warhammer factions. So it already starts off very, very well with those 4 factions. Most Warhammer games that end up having like a collection of, that end up with a fair bit of content, usually only start with 2 factions. You look at Battle Sector, for example. Actually, that's another one worth having a look at. So Battle Sector, just while we get all these Warhammer things out of the way. Actually, I don't know if we can see all of the Warhammer stuff, if it will go through the actual games themselves. Bolt Gun, I haven't actually tried this one, but a few people have actually said it's quite good fun. It looks like, for me, when I looked at it, it looked like it was just essentially a take on the old Doom the Doom aspect. I don't know if that's showing where it actually is. Yeah, it's old school. Yeah, so it just looks like Doom, but I haven't played it. But it is very positive with a fair few people actually playing it. 94%. That's actually pretty amazing. Now I don't know if that's just people that used to really enjoy playing Doom back in the 1990s or not. I've really got no idea. Bubo's saying, "Whoops! I bought all the race packs already." Look, it's great. The race packs are very, very good. They are very, very good. So anyway, there's Bolt Gun, which has also just come out, 24th of May. So that one's brand new. Let's go back and have another look at a few of the other things that are actually been listed. There's a few games that have come out which I haven't tried, which I think could be good. Is that still a little Bolt Gun? Just go back to the Skulls Festival again and have a look through. So we've got Realms of Ruin. I've got no idea. This looks like a card game, I think. I haven't really had a good look at that one through there. What else have we got? Gladius Free to Keep. We've just spoken about that one through there. Warp Forge, I think, is that the card game? That's the card game there, actually. Speed Freaks, no idea. Rogue Trader. Is that Warhammer Rogue Trader? No idea what that one is either. Coming soon, but let's not worry about the coming soons in this stage. Dark Tide, I don't know much about this one either. I don't know much about a lot of these. Warhammer 3, I haven't, Total War 3, I haven't actually played that, so I don't know much about it. 33% off, though it's still an expensive game. Then you've got Battle Sector. Battle Sector is a very, very good game, and they've just brought out the Orcs DLC as well. So Battle Sector is a game that I really didn't like much when it first came out, but it's a beautiful game. It always has been incredibly good, just with the actual visuals. And for a tactical game, it's like it really does look incredible what it actually does do. There's a fair few. You can see it's very positive, like 81%, 90% there overall, and it's just had an update. And the update has been to mainly sort of bring in a lot of the stuff. Well, there's been a lot of changes, but one of the big ones is the changes to the Planetary Supremacy mode, which is the random campaign mode, and it's actually really, really damn good. Like it's really, really enjoyable. So if you are like me and you didn't think much of it when it first came out, have another look at it now because, as I say, there's a lot going for it now. So this is one of these games that came out with only the Space Marines and the Tyranids, basically, so two factions. And the Tyranids weren't playable, but they are playable in the Planetary Supremacy DLC. So there's that one through there. So I would now highly recommend Battle Sector. A year ago I didn't, because I'm mainly interested in only really doing the the procedural generation stuff. So that's sort of not something that I really sort of worried too much about. Anyway, that's Battle Sector, but they've just brought the Orcs in as well, and they're quite good as well. But my favourite faction at the moment, I've been playing a fair bit of it, is the Necrons. So there's a Necron DLC, which is really quite cool. So I will be doing some content about that one. This is still, this is all Battle Sector. Just go back again. Okay, where are we up to? So we've got Battle Sector, Shooters, Blood and Teeth. No idea about this one. It's very positive, actually. I'd seen this one when it first came out. This came out quite some time ago, but yeah, that's. So what else have we got? Vermintide, the Rogue Trader coming soon. We won't worry about that one. Blood Bowl 3. It's mostly negative. This is the worst release of a game that I've ever seen, I think. We did cover this one. So I'll just go and just go view the page. And yeah, this is terrible. 28% recently, 38%. I thought it was even down around 10% when it first came out. Very, very poor. Very, very, very poor release. Going back in there. Let's just go back again. So anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but there is quite a bit in there if you are sort of looking for something. Where's the other new game that came out? Probably isn't on special. That's probably why it's not showing up in here. But there's an awful lot on special. There's the good old Blood Bowl 2, which is actually still pretty good. That's only for $9. That's not bad. And the Chaos Edition through there, 90% off. A good old Armageddon, 80% off for that one. That was a very good game. What else have we got there? I'm not seeing the other ones. Okay, collections and bundles, Dark Tide. Yeah, I'm not seeing what I'm looking for there. I can't remember what the other game is. It's sort of like it's another one a bit like. Actually, is it Battle Sector? No, it's not even Warhammer. I was thinking of a different game. Forget that. Scrub that. Okay, so just reading a few more of the comments there. Yeah, I think I said hi to Bubo before. Yep, Admiral's then saying, have you checked out the new Fallen Frontier trailer? No, we haven't, actually, so we'll have a look at that one. Realms of Ruin will be fast-paced RTS, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay, so it won't be a card game then. Rogue Trader is a CRPG. Now, Rogue Trader, that's not a Warhammer game, though. So it's coming. Rogue Trader is a very different sort of game. This doesn't look like the one I'm thinking of. I won't spend too much time with this, but that one is... oh, by the way, there's no giveaway today, but we will still do a marble run at the end, but the prize, you can just pick up a Gladius. So I was thinking, do I make the prize a Gladius free DLC key? But I'll just say, look, it is Gladius is free today. That will be the prize for everyone. But we don't actually have I don't have a giveaway today, so hopefully next week we'll have something else that I can give away. Okay, yeah, so that's just an RPG. Let's not worry about that one. Just go back again and back into the list. Okay, so just reading a few more of the other ones. We've got like a Baldur's Gate 3 type thing. So Jamison is saying, I'm mildly excited for Warhammer 40k Speed Freaks, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Do we see this one's coming soon? What is this one? $3D doesn't look that great. That was pretty bad, pretty cartoony. Let's see what it sounds like. It's like Armageddon. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's got great controls. I mean, if a lot of this stuff, that looks like it's part of the in-game, so it looks like you've got like a third-person view from behind. It looks like it's going to be a difficult game to control. I think personally I'd pass on that one. All right, let's just leave that one where that is. We'll get out of there. And just reading a few more. Okay, so Battle Mode is saying Dark Tide is a 40k version of Vermintide. Apparently it's awful. Yeah, I didn't bother looking at that one so much. Vermintide had a very, very good rating, I think. Vermintide is very positive, yeah. Lots and lots of reviews. I didn't actually ever play it though, so that one's where that one actually is. Jamison saying we got Harry the Hammer, Harold Hammerstorm in Free Lord in Warhammer 3. There we go. Warhammer Total War 3. Armageddon is a good game. Enjoyed that. Yeah, it was a good game. Very, very good game. Dark Tide had a rough launch. Why has this become normal? But it's getting better. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So many games launch so poorly. You only get one chance to launch. I just can't believe it. I don't understand why developers don't get that. Like it's something that should be. I don't know. It should be just sort of like something where they have a big, like on their calendar. It should be in highlight. This is what we're aiming for. Make sure everything's ready beforehand, as much as you can. Anyway, I know that some games can't be, but certainly it would be good. Okay, so Brandon White saying Gladius is such a cracking game. Got me back into 4Xs. Thanks for highlighting, Daz. Yeah, no, it's an incredible game. Gladius, the AI in Gladius is just amazing, and with it being free. that is the prize for today. Is your is grab that. everyone gets a free prize. Look under the seat. But you've only got a couple of days before this expires, so act quickly. So Casey's saying Alcat is definitely a solid CRPG developer. I'm looking forward to Rogue Trader. Yeah, look, I don't know anything about that one, so I'll let that one go. Did you mention Bolt Gun yet, says Brandon? Yes, I did. It's such a blast. It's interesting that you say that because it doesn't look like the sort of game I would like. It looks old. It looks really, really old. We did have a look at it before, but it does have very positive reviews, like up around 90%, I think it was, when we looked at it. I can't see it there now. Anyway, it's that's a lot of people have sort of said that that's actually really, really cool. Brandon White saying Mechanicus is also excellent. The vibe with the Tech Priest is spot on. That is a good, very good game. Did I miss? There it is there. 84% off at the moment, so that's actually very, very cool. This is a very good game. Yeah, you're right. This is great. What's the other one that's a bit like Mechanicus? Yeah, that's very solid. There's another one as well that if I just look for my in libraries, I should be able to find it. Chaos Gate. This is very good as well. So this is sort of like a bit of a. This is only mostly positive there. Well, maybe it's not that great. That's the one. That's the Warhammer style one. It's not the Warhammer. The XCOM style. I think where you've sort of got to take on different missions and things. I'm pretty sure that's the one. Yeah, that's it. That's a good game. That's Chaos Gate is good. But Battle Sector really has, as I said before, really has improved out of sight over the last year. Really, really cool. What they're doing with that. Okay, so Curry Munch is saying could be worse. Could be Lord of the Rings Gollum. Wow, what a horrendous game. I've got no idea about that one. I saw it, but I didn't actually have a look at it. Casey's saying Bolt Gun is a little more than Doom, the original Doom reskinned, but it does look like fun. Andy's then saying Fallout New Vegas is also free on Epic. Oh, okay. Battlemate saying, see if a game looks old, I'm more likely to show interest than most new games. I find flashy 3D usually hides poor gameplay. Exactly. I agree with you. Weavenholz is saying Mechanicus soundtrack alone makes it worth buying already. It's very, very well done, Mechanicus. Very, very. It's a very good game. Bolt Gun is good, halfway between Quake and Doom, says Battle Mode. Brandon White saying Bolt Gun is a boomer shooter. Pun on boomer is the generation and things going boom. So it's intentionally supposed to have that old Doom-like feel. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's what it does feel like. Okay, so anyway, that's the Warhammer stuff out of the way. Other things, I guess the big one for me really has been the Shadow Empire, where Vic has actually put down his plans for Shadow Empire over the coming years, really. So I think we'll have a look at that one through there. Let's just go across to VR Designs. So I was live streaming this I've been live streaming this all week actually, and on the first session, it was highlighted to me that he put out a blog post on his design, and actually I was talking with Battle Mode there as well from Explorminate, and who also then highlighted that in my Discord. And so this is a sketch of my design. This came out on May 24. So I think it was about nearly a week ago now, but it certainly wasn't here last week. Otherwise, you would have covered it. So it basically is going through. It says I could be secretive and only announce things that I'm 100% sure, but that would keep everyone in the dark completely. So please do consider this the development plan sketch, like at best 50% sure. So this is just what his thoughts are, not what will probably actually end up happening. Saying because the features could still change, the order of development DLC's planned could change, even the actual DLC themes could still change. Feedback is coming in non-stop, and I'm flexible until committed. But leaving all those disclaimers aside, this sketch does give you an insight into what I currently have on the drawing board. And so it doesn't look like much, but there's actually an awful lot there. I won't read everything. Let's just have a look at what he's actually done in here. So if you go to vrdesigns.net, just have a look at that one through there. This is actually where he's got his blog. And so this is actually now the actual plan for it. I don't know if we can zoom in any more than that. Can a little bit. I'll just go across as much as I can so you guys can sort of see what's going on. So the long-term sketch, Shadow Empire development. Disclaimer, this is a plan, not a promise, and it is also dependent on making continued commercial success. So, and again, what an incredible game this is. Like, it's there's very few games that offer such incredibly different gameplay every time you play it. It really is amazing. People are saying, Daz, have a lozenge. Yeah, I know, it's pretty bad. Who's that commentator? Anyway, my throat's really quite sore, I got to say. Sorry, guys. I had a bit of reflux last night, and it really, really knocks my throat around. Okay, so let's get into it. So we've got the Oceania DLC. It has been launched. So Oceania is launched, but there is some more stuff coming back over here. You can see their naval units in the corner, but we'll come back to that one. Core engine work 1.2x is in development at the moment. So the game is 1.24 or something, or I forget exactly what it is, 1.21H, or I forget what the actual number is where it currently is, but the core engine is still in the 1.2 phase. The things he wants to actually introduce with this is new leader portraits, new VidCom and stratagem illustrations as well, and he wants to sort of enhance what happens with the VidCom, the video communications. Now, he's done the model designing interface to a degree. Now, I think that the blueprints area is a halfway measure, to be honest. I think it's great what he's done, but it's just not quite, it should be part of the model designer, not just a blueprint designer. It makes it hard for new players to know that that's there. Statistics tab, I haven't really had a good look at that one. Unaligned versus alien creatures. I think this is coming. This is going to mean that the planet will fight against itself, which is quite interesting. Prioritized discovery. That's actually in there already now. Maybe these are all done. I haven't noticed this one, so I haven't actually seen that one in the game. Is that? Yeah, actually, this is all done. The air AI rework has been done, and that is actually really, really effective. I've got to say, I'm with the game that I'm playing at the moment. The air forces from the AI. I wasn't going to use an air force myself, but the AI is absolutely smashing me with their air force, and that hasn't ever happened before in the game with me as well. So, but I'm saying, Vic, we've got to me that we've got a podcast with Vic lined up. This is for the Explorminate. You're in on it, but he's on holidays for a bit, so we can pick his brains. Yeah, that'd be great. Should be back the second week of June. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be great to be part of that. So Brandon White saying, been eyeing Shadow Empire for so long, I just couldn't pull the trigger. So Kappa is then saying, sorry, can you recommend me DLCs for Gladius? Yeah, actually, I'll go back to that. Let's just do that now while we're talking, just so we can get all the Gladius stuff out of the way. So if we go into Gladius, just go back across. So this is the base game. And just get rid of all this stuff. Sorry about all the pop-ups and things that are coming through. Okay, so I'll try to put it in the perspective of if you're new to Gladius, like if you're basically are new, and I don't want to say like new to complex 4X games because there's so many different sorts of games. If you're somebody that plays games like Civ or anything like that, Gladius is going to take a little bit to get used to. Gladius, the initial rush in Gladius is not on. If you rush in the initial part of Gladius, you're just going to get stomped on. So don't rush. Don't rush your build. I still aim to try to get a couple of cities up and running pretty quickly, but you don't rush out to try to claim territory. That's not the way Gladius works. So you've got to have that in your mindset before you start, and then you play defensively. If you don't play defensively, the AI will absolutely crush you, even on an easy mode. So it's not an easy game. But when you know that you really don't go and attack the AI until you really have got the ability to destroy your cities, if you do it half-assed, it's not like other games where the AI will come against you in waves upon waves and just keep on destroying its forces. And look, that's my big problem I still have with Battle Sector. That's sort of what it does. It doesn't go and collect all its forces into one big cohesive mass and then move in. It just drip feeds them in, and so you just kill them off. So it's very simple, the AI in a game like Battle Sector. In Gladius, it actually pulses. It brings their forces back when they're losing. They collect, they heal up, and then they come back in as a group. And so it's brutal. And so the way that what you don't want to be doing with the AI in Gladius is, and I may be telling people how to suck eggs here, but you don't become a threat to the AI until you're ready to be a threat to the AI. So you don't go off and try to go into their territory. You don't even sort of posture on the edge of their territory, because when you do that, they then see you as a threat, and they will then come back with their full force. So it's sort of one of those things where the AI the way I play the AI is, if there's another AI that's closer to the AI that I have as my target, then they're going to see them as more of a threat than me. So you don't want to be expanding. So with that in mind, the faction. So it's a hard game to play anyway. When you first start playing it, the easiest one is the Space Marines. So they're the easiest to play because they only have one city. They have a much more sort of simple way of actually sort of getting into the game. So that should be your first game, is playing as a Space Marines. Very good faction. Second game really should be probably the Necrons. They're also fairly easy. These heal up on their own. Like every turn, they get a bit of extra healing all the time, which means that they can stay in the fight for longer. And so that makes them a fairly good, fun faction to play. The Orcs are probably the third most easy. These are good if you build up. So if you can build up a big force of Orcs, like a mass of them with war bosses, then you're going to do okay with them. And then finally, the Astra Militarum is the hardest of the base factions to then go and play. So these are these ones you really do have to turtle up until you can get the big equipment. And once you've got the big equipment and the long range guns with the Astra Militarum, then they become very, very powerful. But it takes a long time. So anyway, that's that's your base game. When we go back into the actual into the DLC, different DLCs will actually will present themselves in different ways. Some of them are easy to play, some of them are hard to play. So if we go back down to the bottom here, which is sort of like the first one that they brought in was the Tyranids. The Tyranids I find quite fun to play. It's probably not as popular as all the others. It does say very positive, but then all of these factions do say very positive. They're all good. The Tyranids are an interesting one again. They're hard at the start because they've got this hive mind. And so you've got to keep your basic units close to leader units. If they move off, then they lose morale. And so that actually is quite big. So there's a little bit of nuance to playing them. But overall, once you get started with the Tyranids, once you start to get sort of into the mid-tier, they're fairly easy to play. They basically only have one resource, which is biomatter. So they're really not much of a problem. The Chaos Marines are a bit more complex. So these are also they did some research on which factions people like the most in Gladius, and the Chaos Marines actually won. And they're not one of my favourites, but people do really like the Chaos Marines. So and again, I think if you like a faction, if you play any Warhammer game and you actually enjoy that faction, you'll probably enjoy the faction that comes into Gladius. There's no bad factions in it as such, but I wouldn't choose, personally, I don't choose to play the Chaos Space Marines. I just don't really like it that much. So I'll just go through all the different factions. The Tau, again, a lot of people really like this one. I don't. This is probably one of my least favourite factions, but again, people who like the idea of what the Tau actually are in the lore do tend to like that one. And similarly with the Craftworld Eldiri, Tau and Craftworld Eldiri are my two least favourite factions, but again, they're, people do like them. Then we get into the more complex one. This is Adeptus Mechanicus. If you've been playing the game for a long time and you're looking for a challenge, and you're wanting something that is really hard to play, Adeptus Mechanicus is a great DLC if that's the case. It's one of these ones that you have to really micromanage your city as much as possible to get the absolute best out of it. And so that is a really cool one if you're deeply into the game. So if you are new to the game, don't get this one. But it really is great. So that is as I say, I think that's probably the hardest faction to play, just because of how you've got to really plan ahead playing them. But they're so rewarding to play. Then we go to the Adeptus Sororitas, which came out just recently. These are, I really like these as well. These feel good. These are a bit of a hybrid between a normal faction and the Space Marines. The Space Marines don't actually have other cities. These have small cities that they can build. They have one big city and then small cities that they can then build around that. And it works well for them. And so, again, every faction plays so differently. These aren't that difficult to play as. And so these are sort of more on the easy side. But you'll notice there, all the reviews are saying very positive with all of these things. Very positive. From Dairy, very positive. So it's the actual ratings of what people are saying are very, very good. You'll see there that the Tower's got 98. A lot of the other ones don't have that number. 83. Chaos Marines are only 68, for example. Tyranids are 70. But my personal favourites of these are Adeptus Mechanicus, Adeptus Sororitas, and the Tyranids. They're my three favourites out of those. Then you've got a whole lot of packs which actually add units to all of the groups, like the Reinforcement Pack, Fortification Pack. This one does change the mechanics, where you can actually then sit inside fortifications. So this one does enhance your gameplay a fair bit. So I think that's a good one to get. It's 45% off at the moment. The Assault Pack just really sort of adds in other different types of units. Specialist Pack, other types of units. Escalation Pack, other types of units as well. And then the new one that's just come out, the Firepower Pack, other types of units. These I find are sort of like, they're nice to have, but they don't add the flavour of the actual factions. So the factions to me are the big ones. And you can see there with the pricing, the factions certainly are the ones where they sort of do have a higher price point on them. But but these other sort of packs that they bring in, they do enhance the game, but they're not critical. So I would definitely go. But I don't know if that's been helpful. Anyway, that's sort of where I would be going. There we go. Okay, so where we are. Yep. So DLCs, my recommendations then. Well, again, if you self-identify as if you're a Civ player, probably just start playing the base game initially. Play a couple of games. Don't rush, as I said. Just turtle up, build up, and then sort of go with it. Like at the moment, I'm dominating a game, but I've just come up against the Chaos Space Marines in the game that I've been live streaming. I've been live streaming a couple of times on YouTube over the last few days, just because of the free game. And in that one, I've been playing as the Necrons, and the Necrons are really good fun to play. It's really cool. As I say, the base game, really, you get a feel for whether you like it or not. So anyway, that's the bit of a rundown. But if you are new to it, don't get Adeptus Mechanicus. If you've played the game a lot and you're really looking for a challenge, then Adeptus Mechanicus is probably the one you want to go for. It's a really amazing group. Actually, it's not unbalanced. It's just hard to play. That's all. So anyway, that's that one through there. Hope that was helpful. Let's go back to the plan. Back through here. Okay, so where are we up to? I'll just read a few more of the comments before we do this one. Brandon White saying, I've been eyeing Shadow. Yeah, I got it for so long I just couldn't pull the trigger. Actually, I will point out, I do actually have I usually do this when I start talking about Shadow Empire, or any of these games actually, except if you get the free Gladius from. I don't actually know if my Nexus game store has got the not Nexus. I do actually have. Usually these are the same price as the as what's on Steam. I'll just see if it is. So you've got Warhammer, Age of Wonders in through there. So this is just a self promo for me. If you are thinking about getting into the games, just double check the actual pricing. So they didn't have Oceania in the Nexus store, so I asked the other day, and they added that one in for us. So that's if you do want to get Shadow Empire or Oceania, then they're available on my store there. Here, no, don't get Gladius from here. So don't get it there. The other ones have actually got their price point, but not Gladius itself. So looks like some of these aren't. Some of these, no, these look like they are reduced. Yeah, they've been reduced as well. I'm not sure why they're not showing the actual amounts. Anyway, that's that one there. Don't get that one from there. But if you do want to get them, just double check if you want to help me out. Just see if it's the same price. If it's not the same price, grab it from Steam or from wherever you get them from. But Shadow Empire. So with Shadow Empire, this is one area where I do try to sort of push this a little bit. If you're new to Shadow Empire, don't get Oceania. Play Shadow Empire again and see if you like it, and get used to playing Shadow Empire. I've been trying to record a series for Shadow Empire for new players. Essentially, I've been doing it again, live streams on Twitch, and I've been experimenting with that. I've been using the Twitch live streams as an experiment to see if I can actually sort of present it in a way that isn't overwhelming, and it's quite hard because it is an overwhelming game. When you play it, when you try to approach it as a new player, playing with Oceania, the Oceania DLC, it exponentially makes it more complex. So don't start off with Oceania. Just start off with the base game, or even if you buy Oceania because you think you'll like the game. Don't play your first games with Oceania running. When you start a game, you do sort of start that one off. That's one place. So I'll give myself a plug there. This one here though, ko-fi.com/ChatTactic. I normally have those. I should have them actually as little links somewhere. Anyway, this is this is where I put all my mods and things. And I've got two there. I've got the M. Royer terrain mod plus my mod in there, and I've just got the Shadow Empire terrain icons mod in through this side. I would highly recommend, and I'm not just saying this because I made it, but this is a free download. So you can come into here and just download the actual DLC. When I do upgrades to this one, I just upgrade this particular file. So when people actually do download it from here, I think they get notified if I do make a change to it. So you'll see there, this mod helps players identify the different terrain types in the game. This is important for planning logistics chains, for planning attack vectors, and for planning defenses. I can't play the game without this mod, and even though I built it because I really needed it, and so I wish it was part of the base game, but it's just not. So you can actually come in and download this for free from here. So this just ko-fi.com/ChatTactic. So it really is, as I say, it makes the game so much easier to play, just from any perspective, whether you're new or an existing player. The planning is so much easier with this. Anyway, that's a bit of a plug there. So we've got where is it? I'll just have a bit of a look and see where I've got up to. Yep, so that was Brandon saying, yeah, I've been eyeing it on for so long, just couldn't pull the trigger. Yeah, I would recommend that you grab that mod that I've got there and put that in there. So can you recommend, done the DLCs? Jamison saying, what would loosely be Vic's timeline for this, taking into account that he might totally change his plans, of course. All right, so the total plan for Vic will be, it's quite funny when you see what he does. If you don't know, like Vic Shadow Empire is developed by a single developer, and so Vic basically just works on his own with it. He also sort of moonlights a little bit doing AI, like complex AI stuff for other games and things like that. I don't know which games they actually are, but he's very, very good at building AIs. And so he's actually got, so the AI inside, again, Shadow Empire is very, very difficult. They do retreat when they have to. They attack when they need to. And so the AI is exceptional. And so Vic sort of works on that as well. But so you'd sort of be thinking he'd be really stretched for time, just a single developer. He tends to put these time frames out where he might say it might be 2 years, and then he'll get it all done in 6 months. It's that sort of thing. Like quite often things happen when he gets excited about something. Things really accelerate quickly, and so it's very hard to sort of put a time frame on it. But I would be in my head when I was looking at all those plans, I'm thinking 2 years. But I also knowing how he works, I'm thinking it's going to be 2 years with a lot of new stuff bouncing in very, very quickly at different times, I would think. So it could be an exciting time frame. Now, as far as getting used to the game with all these other things bouncing into the game all the time, it makes it very hard to nail the game down and do like a long series. It's a long game because the changes happen so thick and fast with Shadow Empire. Let's just go back to the image. So with all the stuff he wants to actually add in here, it looks like like there's a lot of stuff he wants to look at. But he does, as I say, he does work very, very quickly. And the 2 years is just a time frame I've just got in my head. But he does work incredibly quickly. Yes, I've been on my saying, if you're new to the game, just stick to the base game without the DLC. Absolutely, yep. It's amazing as it is, yes. Once you're sure, pick a race you like the look of. So Ben, I might say, yeah, this going back to Gladius. So once I pick a race you like the look of, Tyranids are very interesting and different. Tyranids are fun. Like they're fairly one-dimensional. Like once you get started, they're not too difficult. People are saying, I bought all the race packs, as I'm not sure when it's a little game like this will be we'll get Steam discounts again. Yeah, I don't know actually. It's because when we like the same developer for Gladius, if we just go back in there again for the third time, if we go and have a look at them, they've actually got so Proxy Studios is the developer. And if we go and click on Proxy Studios, they've got another game, Zephon, which is in the works. And so Zephon is coming soon. Actually, it's not coming soon now. That's new. It was coming in 2023. And I thought it was coming actually within the next couple of months. So that's actually been pushed back. That's interesting. So they're pushing back the development of Zephon. So Zephon is their new game, but they're actually publishing that themselves. So... And what would normally happen is, if that was Slytherin that was publishing this one, because Slytherin published Gladius, then quite often there'd be a big special when this one comes out. But because Slytherin doesn't have any sort of any sway over Zephon, that won't be a consideration, I don't think. So I'm not sure when the next special will come. But anyway, Zephon looks very, very cool as well. Like this is. It's the next sort of the next step in terms of the Gladius style development. The map itself still looks very much like Gladius when you sort of have a look at the actual look at the graphics. Yeah, so it just looks like a next step up from Gladius. But they've done a great job at Gladius. Anyway, that's all looking great. So that's Zephon. So we'll just go back again into here. Yeah, so I don't know when the next lot of specials will come, but they've been sort of almost fairly regularly, but yeah, I don't know. So we were saying, yeah, which is probably exactly what they wanted, yeah. Jenna saying, hey Daz, in my one and only playthrough with the Space Marines, I went according to a tech guide, and that was painful. Oh, that's the other thing too. When you play Gladius, don't play with the quests on. Turn the quests off. So just don't play with them. You ending up needing to do things that you don't want to be doing. Saying I skipped so many early game units to get the right ones that I had to fight for a long time with the basic ones. Yeah, you do need to pick your way through. Like it's one of those things that in Gladius, I always like when I'm using, if I'm trying to reevaluate like a new group of units that I'm not used to, and even if it's a unit that I am coming back to after a bit of length of time. Actually, I might just show that again. Sorry, we'll keep on. This will be our fourth sojourn into Gladius. Yeah, it should load up quickly, I think, today. I'll just play it. I'm just going to grab a drink of water while this loads in. So when you come into the game, I'll just continue with the game that I'm currently live streaming. This is a YouTube live stream series that I'm doing at the moment. This is one that we're playing as a Necrons. It's on the Adeptus Mechanicus, but just defeated. And so you can see there and through there, I've conquered maybe a third of the planet at this stage. I think I'm now the strongest faction, but we've just come up against, in this particular one, we've come up against the Chaos Marines down over through here. So we're sort of over this side of the map with the Chaos Marines now just sort of coming through, and they're a lot stronger than what I am at this point in time. So we're going to have to sort of escape from here. Again, there's some really good mods for Gladius. So I think I've got like a collection on Steam for those. But when you first come in, anytime you pick up any of the factions, like if you're trying to play any of the factions at all, just press F1, which brings up the compendium, and then to get used to a faction, read about the faction, because that's important. So if we go, let's just say that we're going to be playing as Adeptus Sororitas, we then go and have a look at this one through here. Initial challenge is easy. These are quite useful as well, just to sort of, you can see there, Adeptus Mechanicus is considered hard, Astra Militarum is considered hard, Chaos Marines is medium. But if we went to Adeptus Sororitas, it then actually goes through all of the different parameters that the Adeptus Sororitas actually have. So read all that, that's important. Not so much the flavor text, don't worry about that one down through there. But all of these are aspects about the faction. So get a feel for it by reading that. So there's a bit of reading to do, guys, a bit of reading to do. Then, after you read about the factions, if you go straight to units, and then you go to the Adeptus Sororitas down through here, for example, you'll then sort of find that you've got all the different units down through this side. But this is really overwhelming because you don't get a feel for them at all. And so it's good to see like if you've got someone very particular that you're wanting to have a look at, then have a look at that one. But you don't use this to plan. What you do to plan in, like if you're using the help file, is the buildings, and then go to Adeptus Sororitas. And then what you'll find is that there's only going to be like maybe 2, 3, or 4 buildings for each faction that will actually produce units. And so the Anointed Hangar, this is going to be, and it'll just tell you, building that produces ground vehicles as well as generates requisitions and research. And so this produces these different units. So the Immolator, the Mortifier, the Castigator, the Exorcist, and the Paragon Warsuits. And so this will then give you a bit of a feel for what they actually are. And the thing I always just look at initially is just the upkeep. And that way, this is going to be your progression through the tech tree as well. So you can very quickly sort of see, okay, well, the last one down through here, I'm not going to be able to get a Paragon Warsuit until late in the game, and it's 6 requisition points to actually have as upkeep, whereas opposed to the Immolator that I get, this anti-infantry transport unit fitted with twin-linked heavy flamers has only got 1.5 upkeep. So I get that one as soon as I build one of these hangars, and then I have to research anything that's in the blue. As we come back through the Battle Chapel, this is a building that produces infantry. And so these are the different infantry units we get from this one. We've got the Battle Sisters, the Zephyrim, the Sisters Repentia, Dominions, Retributors, and then the Sacrosancts. And again, you'll see the upkeep as we sort of drop down through, like 4, down to 3, down to 2. So these are actually more powerful than that transport vehicle. So these are actually fairly cool. A lot of these won't actually be buildings that actually do anything at all. So where is it? We've got the... does that one do it? Building that produces the aircraft and Imperial Knights. And so this one produces 2 of the aircrafts and then also has like a massive unit, 12 upkeep. So this is your end game unit, the Cerastus Knight Lancer. So you just get a bit of a feel for what you're going to be doing. So in the first part of the game, we're not even going to be able to get these actually early on. This will take quite some time to actually go and grab these. This one here is produces heroes and hospitalers. So again, another group of units. So you can see how many different units there actually are. There's heaps and heaps of them. I think that's all of them. Preceptory, does that one have anything? No, that's only resources. That's okay. Yeah, so they were all the ones that you get. But if you just have a look at those, which one was it? Yep, the Priory. So when you first build something, you're then going to end up, getting whatever the first one actually is. But just start to have a look, and if you then start to think, okay, well, what do I need to do with a specific unit, then go through and have a look at so buildings is great just to give you a feel for where things actually are, but units is overwhelming. Like to actually go, like if you have a look at that last one, if you plan your whole game around getting these Cerastus Knight Lancers, you're going to lose the game, because you won't get these until the very, very end of the game. So these are incredibly powerful. It then does go through all of the different upgrades that they have, all the different actions that they can do, the different types of weapons. So you can then start to have a close look at everything. But the help file is incredibly detailed. It's got so much in it. And so it's worth actually having a look at that when you're planning to use any of the actual factions. So playing as the Necrons is quite easy. Like, that's an easy one to play as. We've got our mid-tier units at the moment playing as the Necrons, and but we're in a hard fight here with the Chaos Marines, and so I need to retreat at this location. Okay, so anyway, let's just exit the desktop. But that's a really, really cool game. Okay, so skipping so many of the early game units to get to the right ones. Yeah, you don't want to do that. You want to get your progression just going. Hi Marco, how you going? Sorry guys, sorry about my throat. Okay, but I'm not saying AdMech needs a good knowledge of the game. So the Mechanicus needs a good knowledge of the game mechanics to play. Yes, that is there. But I'm saying agreed. Oceania is 5 or 6 times the complexity of the base game and is almost a completely different title. Turns it into a full-on economic industrial simulation. Yes, it does. It makes it quite tricky. Depending on the planet, actually. That's the other thing with Oceania. It either adds complexity that you just don't need on some planets, like if the water is not really all that important, or if the water is important, it really then adds a lot of complexity into different parts of the game. So for your first games, don't play with the Oceania DLC. So Tenor is saying you should try more mods, Daz. I do try a few of them. They're all just graphic mods though. So Pymus's mod is very good. But every time I've tried to play something that actually changes the base of the game itself, it ends up screwing up my game. So I don't put them in anymore. Benelmo saying with a crazy meta level where you need tons of cash. Yeah, you do when you play with the Oceania. You need lots and lots of cash, but they also generate cash for you as well. Hi Doom, how you going? Fox just saying I feel I would have to relearn Shadow Empire over again, not touch it for a while. Yeah, that's I'm playing at the moment where I'm not even looking at the leadership at all. Like I'm not even considering, not even thinking about them, and that's been quite good because it means that I'm not. That is like, as a new player, you don't have to min max. You can actually play it fairly. Like actually, you have to min max some things, but you don't have to. Like you can play it in a bit more of a superficial type way. Like I was saying, what are your thoughts on 2016's Masters of Orion? Thinking of getting it, but haven't tried any Orion games before. Excited about Shadow Empire, got the DLC, and think it's definitely a pro. Masters of Orion, my personal view on that one, that's Masters of Orion 3, is don't bother. Get Interstellar Space Genesis. That is your Master of Orion remake, really. So Interstellar Space Genesis does Master of Orion better than Master of Orion ever did. And another one that's very much like Master of Orion is Stars in Shadow, which I don't know if there's much coming with Stars in Shadow. Let's have a bit of a look. Just go back into here and just have a quick look at Stars in Shadow. I thought that there was something else coming for it. Stars in Shadow. Yeah, they've got one DLC that had come. This was a good game. It's old now, but it was a good game, and it's quite a fun game to play. ISG is currently the best game in that category of games by a mile. But Stars and Shadow, if it does get the new DLC. Let's just see if there's any late news for this one. Yeah, there's nothing much there. Guide. Yeah, nothing much has been promoted there. I'll just go to discussion, see if there's anything. So this is their roadmap, but it's like I don't know when they actually went back through this one. So they've crossed through the things that they've done: new encounters, tactical combat, longer term editions. So I don't know. This was updated, last updated in 2019. Yeah, no, there's nothing much happening. So I would avoid Stars and Shadow in that case as well, which is a shame because it really was it had a lot of promise. Will there be new updates? It was on the 1st of February. This is actually in February, saying yes, there's a DLC planned. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. So there was a DLC planned back, and this was mentioned back in February. So it must just be on the back burner. And I guess this is a little bit like Deity Empires. So I hope that they do something with it because, as I say, it was a very, very good game, but it's just a bit old now. But it had such a nice way around it. But Interstellar Space Genesis is probably your best game in that sort of sense. I know that there'll be people who do like Master of Orion 3 because they did actually. It was terrible at launch. It was a shockingly bad game, but it has got like there is like a community fix for everything. So it's the Master of Orion. Actually, no, this is it here, isn't it? This is the new one. Hang on, which one's that one? 2016. Is it mostly positive? Yeah, it's actually 75% now. Yeah, I don't know actually. I don't know. I really can't comment on it. It's a game I was so disappointed in Master of Orion 3 that I didn't do it. I didn't even look at it. But 88% of recent reviews are positive. Who knows? That may be okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Do I have that one in my? It's in my library. I did play it. I played 24 hours of it. Okay, I don't even remember it. It would have been at release, I guess. So 24 hours. That means that I didn't hate it. Whereas Master of Orion 3 would have been. I probably tried Master of Orion 3 for a length of time as well, I would guess. When did that one come out? 2003. Yeah, this is old. This is really old. Yeah, I don't even have any time allocated to it. But that's, Master of Orion 3 was an absolute mess. Okay, so Curry Munch is saying, Des, do you ever get approached by game devs in relation to your illustrations, not just random, but an established dev? Quality of illustrations you do for fun is better than some professional gaming artists. No, and I don't push it, to be honest. It's not something that I haven't been. So and I haven't actually asked. It's not something that I've really sort of focused very heavily on. It would be fun to do it, I guess, but again, it would have to be a game that I enjoy, and not just one that I've done books and things for different people and stuff like that, and I don't know, when you're not actually passionate about whatever you're doing, it makes it hard, like particularly if it's a really big long project. Brendan's saying, this has me stoked, and I've fired up Gladius for the first time in months. They're going to try Sisters of Battle. Sisters of Battle are very good. They're easy to start with, and they do progress really quite nicely. Brendan's saying, also forgot you did your own mod for this game, Daz, apparently 2 months ago. The mod for Gladius, actually, let's just go through that, because somebody has actually compiled that mod and a whole lot of other mods. We go back in. Is this the fifth time that we're looking at Gladius? I think it might be 5th or 6th. Anyway, let's just go back to the community hub. We can't escape Gladius. This is all about Gladius today. Just go back across to the workshop, and there is a new one. There's a new one that I haven't installed myself, but it does look interesting. And there's a lot of mods built for the game. I think it's the Revived Plus. I think it's this one here. And what this one does, yeah, this one here, this is Lauren's Revived Gladius Plus. This mod combines the following mods and simplifies their code. So Gladius Plus, which is great. My tweaks, so that's my mod there, the next one down. AdMech, Escalation, Sisters Plus, and Red Lasguns. These are all, now when did this one get updated? As I say, I haven't subscribed to this one, but this one, if you subscribe to this one, you don't need to subscribe to my mod. So that will then basically sort of get rid of what my mod does. Now this was last updated quite some time ago, unfortunately, so it doesn't have the new stuff in it. But it does have a lot of stuff. It's just a compilation of a lot of existing mods. My mod was a mod for Gladius Plus, whereas this one actually just brings them all together. Because Gladius Plus hasn't been updated for a long period of time. Anyway, that was one I was looking with interest at, because I do have all these other mods. I don't have Red Lasguns, but I do have all the other ones to make them all scale properly. Anyway, that's that's where we are there. Where we're up to, so and he's saying I hated how rocks took away one structure per tile, so I had to give them extra structure instead. Oh, okay, I'm with you. Okay, yeah, the rocks in Gladius. Wish they had Dark Elder though. Yeah, I think there's still a few factions that people do want. So maybe that's why Zephon has been pushed back a year. Who knows? Battlemate's saying Shadow Empire needs no mods. Locust saying Battlemate's saying Locust I'd avoid it. Get Remnants of the Precursors, which is a remake of the original Master of Orion. It's one of the best made 4X games. Plus, it's free. Yeah, Remnants of the Precursors. That's I think you have to download that from a website. I'm not sure where you get that one from, but that's. But for me, ISG is the best Master of Orion game out there. And he's then saying ISG has too much RNG on scanning sectors. Yeah, I guess so, but it's for me it still works very, very well. Battlemate's saying the games Daz just recommended are great too. Yep. So hi Jacob, how you going? So Moo 2015 isn't Moo 3, right? No, it is different, but I think it's just a rebuild of 3. I think, but I'm not 100% sure. Yep, and so Battlemate's saying, yes, Stars and Shadow is not abandoned. I thought that they were. And same with Deity Empires as well. Deity Empires, and we will actually now leave Gladius for the final time. We'll just go back in and just go back into Deity Empires, because they're also still working on the game as well. And what a great game this is. So it's very positive, just people don't play it. People don't play it, and it's very positive. If you do have Deity Empires, if you do actually have it, make sure you opt into the beta. Don't just play the base game. The base game is very old. The beta is a couple of years old. But I think that if we go to the Community Hub, there was some information fairly recently about it. And there's a new, not new, but there's a newish mod as well, which I think the mods are worth playing as well. The ones I've got a couple that I'm actually playing, but if we just go to discussions, we won't get caught up with it. So the beta build came out. It says like the last comment there was in April, but the actual beta build itself came out in February of 2022. So this is a year and a half ago, essentially. So the beta build is really the one that everyone should be playing. And yeah, it's really, that should be the one that everyone actually now plays as such. I don't know why it's not the actual base game now, but that's the one. And all the mods now are built around this particular patch. If we go across, there was another comment in here somewhere. Now that's in February. Yep, it's definitely not. This is what was written in February, so it's definitely not abandoned. Probably never will be. And so this is a year after the beta patch. Until Deity Empires 2 is released in the very distant future, I love making this game as much as playing it, and personally won't stop working on it. Unfortunately, to do the coding requires a full-time commitment, and I won't have that time at the moment. And the coding is what is delaying the next update/DLC. In the past year, there's been a fair amount of design work done on the Halflings DLC. Oh, wonderful! Won't that be great? Including the Halflings race and the Risen Undead race, as well as approximately 10 more greater heroes. The art has been done for most. The units and new abilities are designed, but a lot of the coding is yet to be done. The plan is to find the time to do the final work starting in May. So we're in May now. Expecting 1 to 3 months to finish the updated DLC, then release. But also be aware that these plans to finish the coding have fallen through twice in the last year. So there's no promises, but he is apparently working on it right now, and it's going to take a bit of time. I'm not looking forward to the Halflings, to be honest, at all. So that's something I really could do without. The game is sort of like, and the reason the game looks so shitty, like when you actually play it, and it looks so crappy, is because it is a passion project. So the developer, there's a few of them that have actually been working on the game, and I think there's one developer, there's a core group of people who have played the game for many, many years, just as something that they love to play. That's why the gameplay is so good, but the graphics are so poor. And so that's the reasons behind why it ultimately could be a very, very good game. I think if they like, and because it's a passion project, that's why I've never really lost heart that it was going to be abandoned, because they had been working on it like on and off for years and years and years before they actually released it on Steam. It was only when people started to play it, I think within their friend group, that then said, "Hey, this is really good enough to play." It's not good enough graphic wise and sound wise, but it is good enough gameplay wise. So anyway, that's where that one actually is. Yeah. But I'm saying, yeah, Halflings can get in the bin. Yeah, they're terrible. Anyway, let's just read on a bit longer. Bellman's saying, think Daz is getting Master of Orion 3 and Conquer the Stars mixed up. No, Master of Orion 3 was atrocious. That had as bad a launch as Conquer the Stars. Was it not Conquer the Stars? What was it? Sword of the Stars? Sword of the Stars that had the other shitty launch? Let's go back to our Space 4Xs with shitty launches. Is it Sword of the Stars 2? Sword of the Stars 2 or 3? It's 2, I think. The enhanced edition. They had to bring out an enhanced edition to try to resurrect it. Yeah, it's only mixed. It came out in 2012. 44%. This is almost as bad as your Blood Bowl 3. So this one did have a really, really bad launch as well, and it never really recovered, which is a shame. Again, this is a Paradox game. This is another one of these games where where there was a big disagreement between the developer and the publisher, and I don't know what the backstory is with these, but I'm so thankful that Triumph Studios has been able to work as effectively as they have to actually produce something like Age of Wonders 4, working the best possible way with a publisher like Paradox. But Kerberos, again, a really, really good development team who have got like a lot of other good games that really were very, very good. They rushed this out. And it can only be because basically everyone ran out of money. And so that would be the only reason for doing what they did. I know that they tried to hype it something chronic at the time, but that just made it worse, because it really was poor. A very, very poor launch. So that was a terrible launch, that one. The other one that actually I'm still pissed off about, because I'm not even pissed off about Sword of the Stars 2. I was looking forward to it. But the one I am pissed off about is Warlock, the Warlock series, because that's another one where Paradox was the publisher, and it didn't get finished properly. It's sort of an unfinished game, and that had the potential to be an absolute classic, and this one as well. But this one, I mean, there was just way, way, way too much to do back and through here. It's interesting that Paradox is still the publisher. I thought that Kerberos would have taken that on themselves ultimately. I'm not sure what actually ended up happening in through there. But I thought that there was a falling out. I thought there was. Hi, Tarank, how are you going? So Conquer the Stars is a wargaming remake of... Oh, okay. No, I don't know Conquer the Stars in that case. Yeah, so Master of Orion 3. If we go back to that one there. Master Master of Orion 3 with its launch. So it's mixed. It's down to it's above 50% at least. If we go to the community hub, we'll probably find a lot of people just saying, "Hey, it's really good now." What's that one say? No, that's cost. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, is this one joking? Mu 3 is one of the best Forex games I've ever played. Mu 2, Sword of the Stars, and Star Ruler 2 are up there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he does genuinely believe that. Anyway, it was Master of Orion 3 was not a good game when it did come out. Zephon we can get rid of. Let's go back to actually where are we up to with the comments. We'll just quickly go through the comments again. So I just want to hear what you think about the Shadow Empire roadmaps as Battlemade. Yes, we'll get to that in just a minute. Thanks for holding Lauren's mod, subbing now. Yeah, that means you don't have to get all the Gladius pluses, but still make sure that you get the Too Many Voices mod. And that hasn't been updated for a lot of the recent DLC, but get it and play the Orcs. Or even play the Necrons or the Orcs. They're the two factions that really shine with that Too Many Voices mod. It's an incredible mod. It's the best sound mod I've ever come across. You play Gladius with that mod, and then you go and play Battle Sector, which really does have very, very good voice acting, very good graphics, and the voice acting in that mod is better than Battle Sector, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Sizzle's saying, you know you're into modding when you use mods. Yes. Sizzle's saying you might not be able to get into it deep, but you started to use the mods. I have done that. Brandon White saying, Daz, have you ever tried Remnants of the Precursors? I think I have. I won't delve into that one, but Andy Sin saying the Adeptus mod for Deity Empires isn't part of the beta. The Adeptus mod, I don't know about that one, sorry. So the one I play in Deity Empires is one that rebalances things quite nicely. I'll just go and have a look. Community Hub. I hope that this game keeps on getting attention because it is a very good game. There's not very many mods in this one. If we just go back to, it's the DE Reforged, and there's one DE Re-Evolved. And I think it's the Re-Evolved, which is the new one. But they're the two that you want, one of those two. And if we have a quick look. So when did this one come out? This one came out in December. Yeah, so this one's pretty recent. Next big chapter of my updates is this classic game. This includes all the changes made to DE Reforged. So that's the one now that I'm playing. So the Re-Evolved plus a few of the other graphics ones. But this one does change the base game quite nicely. So you do need to have the beta to run it. It then goes through all the different changes that's then made, all the rebalancing, the upgrades, everything is really, really quite good, the way it does actually work. So it's that is a very, very good mod. And the other one that he based it on, so that's Re-Evolved. Reforged was also a good one. Back in the day, that was in February that one was then built. So this is an older one. Lots of tweaks. So all of this stuff is also part of the new one as well. And that does really make the game from a good game into a great game. So it's a very good mod, that one there. Okay, so where are we up to? So Vox is saying, yay, halflings, yes. and Sithel's saying, halflings, your favourite. The first faction I did in Age of Wonders was halflings. Yeah, halflings can get in the bin, says Ben. Vox is saying, so much halflings hate. Yeah, well, they deserve hate. They deserve absolute hate. See, I'm thinking, like, why put halflings in when you've got, like, forest creature type, not forest creatures, but forest like pans and satyrs and centaurs and stuff like that. You've got the whole other realm of, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called, but anyway, that sort of group, the pan group from from Dominions. You know, like the that would be interesting. Not halflings. Halflings are not interesting, but having satyrs and nymphs and stuff like that would be a really, really good addition. You got strength, you got weakness, you got everything in that particular faction. So it would be great. Whereas halflings are just all weak. You know, they're piss weak. I can say that now because I'm more than half an hour into the video, so I won't get pinged by YouTube for swearing. But yeah, there is halfling hate. I think halfling hate is a good thing. Benjamin Solon saying, "Hey Daz, I hope all is well. A new trailer for Falling Frontiers came out yesterday. About 6 minutes of small combat. Yeah, we'll have to have a look at that. Actually, that was the second time that's been mentioned. I'll type it in. Just back to store. I'm assuming it'll be in here somewhere. And when is this one due out? Is this one changed? Yeah, it's still 2023. Is this the new one? Or has it got a... has it got a new entry somewhere? I'll just go to the community hub to start with. Let's view videos. Let's just do that. Enemy of Destruction. Is that the new one? I'll just pause that one for a second. Yeah, don't know if it's on Steam. They would normally do it if it's going to be there. When did they do this one? No, that's in March. Okay, no, that's not it. That is not it. Alright, I'll go to YouTube. I'll just do a Google search. Where is it? Where's Google? Is that it there? 6 minutes here, that'll be it. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, we'll play it with sound.
Yes, it's confirmed. 4th Fleet is engaged in operations around Jupiter.
Well, who else is there?
The Caligula and Richmond.
Okay, patch me in.
Caligula, this is Comsat Fleet, over. This is Caligula, roger, over.
It's really the Expanse, isn't it?
This is Comsat Fleet. Thea holds contact with probable Martian task force in vicinity of Saturn. Coordinates 4383, Mark 231, course unknown, speed unknown, strength unknown. Caligula and Richmond are ordered to divert from rendezvous with Erebus immediately and make best speed to intercept and destroy enemy task force. Formal orders to follow, over.
Just going to pause it for a second. That voice acting, not just the voice acting, but the actual communication is so damn good. That is the way to do it. And I really do. I put a lot of hate on Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, and not the game itself, but the voice acting. The difference, when I'm listening to that, I immediately think of Deadlock and think, why the hell didn't they do that? Because that is great. Like that's what they would say. That's what would actually happen. It's very childish, the Deadlock stuff. I was worried that Battle Sector was going to be the same sort of thing, but that really is very, very nicely done. Anyway, let's continue on.
This is Caligula, roger. Time to intercept 1 hour. All hands, we've been tasked with a hunter-kill order. ETA 1 hour. Prepare for an emergency turn and burn.
go back. Just going to go back to here. What's the speed? It's just still normal speed. That's interesting because it slows right down. Oh wow, hang on. We've got CWIS, but they've got full control. Hang on, let's have a look at that. So the CWIS is like a countermeasures. So this is your countermeasures. So you actually target the point defense guns. So that's the point defense range in there. That's quite amazing, actually. I mean, this looks incredibly good, doesn't it? It just looks amazing. So it's going out that way. This one's using its CWIS across the other side. So they've got missiles there. Looks like it's all played pretty much on a 2D plane, which I actually quite like as well, even though it is 3D. Oh, friendly fire. That didn't go according to plan. It's good to see, actually. Again, why is it firing at its own guy? That was terrible shooting. It blew itself up. Well, that didn't go according to plan, did it? There's a CWIS. Trying to target those. Oh, that's so good. It's effective. So when they give orders, it slows down. It goes to half speed, even though the speed isn't changing. That's a CWIS from the other group. Point defense. Wow, that was awesome. So CWIS is down on the ship that we've been following. There's no more point defense cannons. Wow. I love it. I love it. It looks really, really good. Yeah, that's good. Thanks for highlighting that, guys. I know a few of you have sort of mentioned that one now. So that was That looks incredible, actually. We don't know, is anyone saying, hey, you can get it soon? Yeah, it looks fantastic, doesn't it? It really does look great. All right, yeah, that's the Expanse, isn't it? Really, this is the game of the Expanse, which is going to be fantastic. Looks amazing. All right, so we'll continue on. So, what did we get up to there? Looking at a good Space 4X game, so the discussion was great. Thanks, as Locust. Yeah, and me, myself, and I saying Move 3 was totally bugged at the start, but I found it quite playable in the end. Did work somewhat different than the other Star 4X games, though. And then me, myself, and I were saying, does anyone know if GOG really got Space Empires 5 to run on Win 8? No idea. As far as I know, I used some obscure DX7 function, which was dropped in the next version. Yeah, I've got no idea about that one, sorry. I haven't played SE 4, 5, or whatever numbers they've got up to for many, many years, probably decades, really. And Admiral's then saying playing as halflings feel like playing as children. Yeah, it just doesn't feel... I just don't like them. They're just too weak. Be like playing Peter Pan. So, still saying in Age of Wonders 4, I did use transformations on halflings to make them look like satyrs. Yes, I did the same thing, and I quite enjoyed that, actually. I quite enjoyed playing the halflings in Age of Wonders 4, but not as halflings. And it did exactly the same thing. Sort of went full on nature. And that did work. Admiral's then saying Fallen Frontiers on YouTube. Yeah, we've got that one there. And yes, in Matthew of Moment, thought that halflings was a faction of children. it's all. Sonny Jim is saying, I can't find the access code to enter Deity Empires beta. Do you know what it is, please? Yeah, all you do is I'll just open up my my Steam. Just go to my library. And so just go to your library and just go down to Deity Empires. DE, isn't it? Deity Empires. There it is. And then just right-click on it. So you just right-click and then go to Properties. When Properties opens up, then go down to Betas, down through there. I don't know if you can see that clearly enough. When you're in Betas, there's a drop-down. And then just go to beta. Beta. And that way you get the new beta. So that's the one there. And that then gives you the latest version of the game. So you don't have to put in any code or anything like that. It's just literally just beta. It should be just in the list. Should be, hopefully. So where will you get up to? Okay, so Admiral's in saying all Homeworld have similar voice acting. It's kind of amazing. Yeah, it's as I say, like I really like the combat in Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, but I really hated the voice acting. I used to have to turn that one right off. But that sounded real, sounded what people would actually, how they would be communicating if in an emergency like that. It's I don't know why it really shitted me off with Deadlock, like to the point where I couldn't play the game until I could actually isolate the voices and get rid of them. It was so childish. It was like halflings. So like having halflings in the Battlestars. Okay, so we've got this is made by Giga Chat. I don't know who that is. Sorry. Yeah, this is going to be good. Says Battle Mode. Yeah, Rob and Drexy interviewed the developer. It sounds ambitious. It does sound ambitious, and often ambitious games just fall completely flat. So hopefully it's not too ambitious. Unlike Rabbit saying, hi, what do you think about the upcoming updated adventure mode in Dwarf Fortress? Yeah, that'll be good. I don't know when that's due for release. Is there any information about that? Let's just go back to I can't make this one bigger. Actually, I might just leave this open though, because we'll probably come back to this. We've got the get rid of that one. Go back into here again. So Dwarf Fortress, that's what we're going to look at. So I haven't played Dwarf Fortress for a little while now. I've sort of been waiting for them to fix up the forgotten beast not able to break open doors. Amazing game, though. Amazing game. Dev update plus phone. Yep, okay, so that's a dev update. That's in May the 17th. That's not going to tell us much. Yeah, the babies are here. It's going to take a long time before we get them. There's not an actual release yet. It's just more information. Okay, we're having our first meeting for the adventure modes sound effects tomorrow. Yeah, so they'll be talking about this for months, I would guess. But I've been wrong about a lot of the other timing for this game. It is an amazingly good game. Anyway, yeah, that's fine. Let's just leave it there. But okay, so that one's not really sort of ready yet. Go back to Shadow Empires. Let's just get the Shadow Empire stuff done and dusted, because there's a lot to go through. So just to recap, Oceania DLC is done. The core engine work is still being worked on. New leader portraits. I don't know what they're going to do with those. I don't know what the plan is for those ones. New VidCom and stratagem illustrations as well. Again, I don't know if they're getting Primus to sort of do that, because he's done some great jobs on the graphics for his mod. Model designing interface and through there is done. So that's now the. I wish that the blueprint designer was actually part of the actual model designer. I don't know why they're separate. They should be the same. Statistics tab in through there as well. I haven't played with that one actually. I haven't even looked at it actually. So that's something I should have a look at. Unaligned versus alien critters. I haven't seen that in the game yet. Prioritized discovery. I have looked at that. That's more late game. It actually is. You take a massive hit in your actual discovery to then choose exactly what you want. But it's not even exactly what you want. It's the area that you want to go and have a look at. So it's for me, it's actually too expensive. Other ones, the AI rework, very, very good, the way that's actually now working. And QA pass on AI economy and counter pushing, which I think is working okay as well. Okay, then we've got more planet-specific rules like salt water, plus weather, plus more hostile for farming. This is actually something that was mentioned. I'm playing on, the world I'm currently playing on has got like a sulfur dioxide atmosphere, and so it would be like acid. There'd be a lot of sulfuric acid and stuff, which would then make the water poisoned. But it's sort of funny because we've got some. It's a rain-drenched world, but the rain itself would actually, it would assume it would be very acidic. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with that one, and that I guess will be based on the mineral composition of the planet and also the atmosphere. So that could be quite an interesting addition. He did say in his comments that was actually something he was, again, looking more forward to working on, is the procedural generation of the worlds, and it's just incredible what he's done there. Early and small economy fine-tuning, so better play at tech level 3 and low pop zones. This is, for me, the biggest problem in the game at the moment, if you're a new player. When you come into the game, the default is tech level 3, but the game is so hard at tech level 3. It should be at tech level 4 if you're going to be playing it, but if you could make it the tech level 3 was a good default start. It's fun to play, but it's not good for new players. So, so if that gets a bit of love, that would be great. Snowballing and balancing, so pop, IP, metal, BP, artifacts, private stratagems, faction stratagems, tech development speeds on high bureaucratic points. I actually found the game pretty good, to be honest. The snowballing, I like snowballing in games. Because at least you then don't end up just grinding. I hate grinding in these sort of games. I like to be able to get ahead and then just know that I've got the game won. Rather than I hate the games that scale up to match your development. Optional, easier mid-core logistics rules that are usable by the AI as well. I'm happy with the logistics the way they are, to be honest. I'm sort of fairly cool with that one. So we've got work name Republica DLC. This is a new DLC which is coming. I find that interesting that this is over here. Yet, if I just move across, the Militaria DLC is over here with naval units, which I don't know. I would have preferred that back over the other side, to be honest. The naval units. I think that really worries Vic, actually, the naval side of things. I don't know why that's such a big negative. Anyway, we've got the long-term sketching through here. So this is a Republica DLC, so advanced trade, Plan is to include mercenaries, artifacts, and luxury special products. I'd like procedural creation and the inclusion of trade bosses to play a big role. That would be very, very good. He's already started this, really, with the Oceania DLC. Advanced politics. My plan is to partially inspire myself on the ancient and Machiavellian theory of anacyclosis, as well as some 20th century political extremes, and maybe even the RPG game Paranoia. That would be interesting as well, like to get more things going. I don't know what anacyclosis actually is. I've got no idea what that actually is. Adventuring and Lieutenant's Oathman. So my plan is to allow a new category of leaders that have a direct personal loyalty to the player, like, for example, Thufir or Gurney in the Dune universe. The Shadow might finally be fleshed out too. That would be interesting, because the Shadow has not really taken... the Shadow is mentioned in the book. I think when it was named Shadow Empire, that was probably the working title. And then when he started writing, the manual was written as the game was being developed. It was actually... the manual ended up being a way for him to record what he was working on. And I think that with the backstory, he mentioned the Shadow, and then it just has never had a role in the game at all. So that would be interesting to see that one sort of come into it. Newspapers. So a similar mechanic through private vidcom news that helps communicate stuff that's currently a bit hidden, or even in a black box for information, as well as immersion thematic purposes. This is actually something that I think that... I like that what Galciv does, like Galciv 2, 3, and 4, where they actually have like their galactic news broadcasts, which just give you a bit of an update every so often. That would be pretty good, actually. That would actually be quite nice. New game modes. For the sake of replayability and new experiences, I would like to allow some different victory conditions and game world setups. That would be very, very welcome. I mean, it's great anyway, but that would be really, really cool. Let's just zoom on up. Then we go to the core engine work of 1.3, so that would take us into a new phase of engines. And while you see all these core engine 1.3, 1.4, we're not going to get very many mod tools, I don't think, at this stage. So that's going to be until we probably end up with the gold version, the 1.5. So I'm guessing that's a long, long way down the track. This is probably, for me, I would be guessing 2 years down the track. And then at that stage, it'll probably be then opened up for modding, I would guess. But I wouldn't anticipate much modding available really to be done in the game, other than just superficial mods, what we currently have. Workname Militaria DLC, so naval units that works together seamlessly with the MTH system. I think you could do that anyway right now. I'm sort of... That's the big thing that's missing from Oceania is the actual naval units. It really doesn't work for me. So we've got the unique military, so I want to have a system that allows each regime to create its own unique military look and feel with unique strengths and weaknesses. That would be good, very, very good. Partly mechanics, partly aesthetics, regalia, nomenclature, and uniforms, customability. That would be great. I was thinking when I read that, like how you would actually set the game up. It would have to be done on your profile selection, I would guess, or something like that, I would imagine. More military rules, so thinking of the direction of fleshing out with the following topics, so recon and anti-recon, guerrilla warfare, special branches, POWs. For me, that's going to end up being too much micromanagement, but anyway, we'll see what happens. So I wouldn't be that keen. I like the current system. I think it works quite well. General diversity, for the sake of replayability, I want each new game to have some unique surprises in it. For example, techs, models, miners, stratagems. That would be great. That would be absolutely awesome. Militaria AI, so aiming towards having a new extra optional AI with many improvements, including much more personality and long-term strategies, and with more interesting interactions concerning spying and diplomatics. Could be part of the core update. Yep, so that would be interesting as well. And Tech Level 0, this would provide a much different gameplay experience, as you would be much more of free folk warlord than an actual nation. Again, that would be interesting as well. And then we go back through the different core engine reworks, and then a work name of Starfire, which no idea what that is, but maybe that means leaving the planet and going on to other planets. That would be interesting as well. So who knows? It is actually really quite cool. Where are we going with everything now? I'll just read a few more of the comments. So Tenor is saying, would you prefer the halflings if they were horrors, possessed by demons with blood red eyes? No, constantly giggling. No, that would really shit me off. That would really piss me off. Voodoo Dog saying, did you ever play Caves of Qud? I did, but Caves of Qud has a lot going for it, a lot of really positive things going for it, except that the actual base map is like a combination of procedural generation and set in stone. I just wish it was more procedural generation, to be honest. Phillips Greeker is saying, any other basic tips for playing as the Space Marines in Gladius? They're one faction that start off strong. So you like just keep your initial forces together. Don't build too many at the start, and just really just don't expand too quickly. But with the Space Marines in particular, they're like getting 2 or 3 of them together can do a lot of damage to any units that it comes across in the very, very start of the game. But but with that one, Space Marines is an easy one to play because you've only got the one city. Okay, so I is then sort of saying, so nice that Shadow Empire is getting more love. I personally don't care about naval units as much as I hope for UI improvements, especially for aircraft design. Well, that's in the game. Aircraft design is in the game. I will fire her up and show you. Because I also don't know what the statistics tab is. So let's have a quick look at this one. So this is the game I've been playing on Twitch. I was saying you buy the game for the Empire, but then the DLC for the Shadow. And Battlemate saying the Shadow is kind of in there with the Syndic factions. Yeah, they are sort of. It's not fleshed out at all. So this is saying even Galsim on OS2 had the news updates. Yeah. Battlemate saying I don't care about naval units either. Really, my counters to push don't really add much to the game, but if it's done in an interesting way, then I don't mind. For me, if I don't know how much you guys have played his other game, Advanced Tactics Gold, where you actually had to do supply chains across oceans. That for me was really good fun. I loved that because all you were doing, you had a designated supply chain through the hexes. I'll just open up the game, so we'll just load in the game itself. This is a game I'm going to be playing on Twitch. So feel free to join me at around this time, basically, or a couple of hours before this, usually on Twitch. during all the time, really. And because I'm playing Shadow Empire at the moment, I will flick something else fairly soon. We're getting towards the end of this particular game, but it's a great game. Anyway, we'll just load her in. So so for me, the way it used to work in I'll just go back to movement. The way it used to work in Advanced Tactics was that you'd still set up your port. Now I haven't set up a port in through here. We do have a maritime trade house back over through this side. I'll just zoom out a little bit. So you'd set up your port, and then you would actually, if you then did an invasion, you would then be able to have your ships would go across, your transports etc. would go across over to this other side. You'd have to have other destroyers and things going in to sort of help protect it. You would then land and create a beachhead. At that point, that would then have a trade hub essentially would be created, and then there'd be a line that would then track through, which is what this game does as well. It would track through, and then that line could be then attacked by submarines and surface fleets, and so you ended up basically protecting. It would still be protecting larger zones with ships, and they would then hunt down anything that got close to them, and it worked incredibly well. And so I don't know why that wasn't put in the game, because I know that he was worried about the scale with each hex being 300 kilometers across. We sort of then made it not really viable for having ships, but that's, for me, that can still be abstracted. Because let's face it, we play a month at a time, hunting down in a sea zone. I think the sea zone should actually, if you've got certain ships within a sea zone or within a big range of hexes, that should be enough. So if you, for example, if you actually had, the way it used to work was that if you had submarines, you had to have destroyers to defeat the submarines, and so the destroyers could be then just destroyed by other bigger ships. But the destroyers were the anti-submarine ships that you had, I think, in Advanced Tactics Gold. It's been many years since I've played it, but that was, as I say, it was very, very well done. And then you had to protect that supply zone, because that was how you got your food across until you could then re-establish the logistics on the other side. And it just worked incredibly well. And I was hoping that would be part of the game, but now we don't get to have any say in that at all. And as I say, it was something I really, really enjoyed. I loved it. Battle saying yeah, navies in 4X are always awful, and the AI can't use them. In advanced tactics, you know, it was serviceable. It wasn't great, but it was still serviceable. I'd like Vic to try something radical with them, says Battle Mode. I don't know. I just think it all comes down to supply. All you want your navy for is to handle the security of your supply chain. That's all you want it for. That's historically, really, that's what they and to sort of be able to then invade across the other side. That's all it should be there for, I think. And at the moment, having like an abstracted group to do that for you through the trade houses is not really good enough, in my opinion, anyway. Okay, so Brandon Wright saying, Daz, what's your take on RimWorld versus Dwarf Fortress? They're two very different games, even though they sort of like RimWorld was based a little bit on Dwarf Fortress. They really are different. They're both great, so it's a bit hard. Hi, Reed, how are you going? Glenn is saying, in Shadow Empire, would like to be able to set rough percentages for mountains, plains, and oceans. I agree with you. That would be very, very cool to be able to do that one. Now, in terms of the statistics tab, I don't know where that actually is. This is the blueprints mode. So I've got two designs. One, this was actually pretty cool, designing a medium tank to try to get the movement modifier to something that was reasonable. So this one here, we've got like 100mm steel plating. If I go and change that one, you can see that the movement modifier changes. This is with the biggest engine. So I've got a lot of fuel on this planet, but I really like this, what they've actually done. And with the aircraft as well, you can then sort of check your ranges as you sort of then tweak things. Like if I go and add more fuel in, it actually makes it not viable because of the weight. If I have less fuel, I can still do 7 hexes, and then other things then change. Dogfighting, does that change? Yeah. See, I've got less fuel, I've got less range, but I've got more speed, so dogfighting goes up. So this blueprint area now that's come into the game, and this is only recent. You have to be playing the beta version of this to be able to access this. But these are great. These are really, really cool when you sort of come into it. In terms of these stats in through here, what have they done differently? These are always here. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. I'm not seeing anything different there. The stats tab was always there. It was always there. And it always looked like this. Has he made it so you can turn... Oh, you can turn off the different things now. You couldn't do that before. You only show one thing at a time. Or all. Okay, so you can't actually... You can't turn off something, but you can isolate something. That's the only new thing, I think. Happiness. This one does go through the various cities. That's regime. That's the troop statistics. So we've just got guns, for example, in here. Infantry. Yeah, it doesn't look anything much really different. There's casualties inflicted. What's the difference there? If we go to guns, infantry, yeah, okay, that's just small numbers, that's all it is. Yeah, so 33,000 have been inflicted and casualties sustained 4,800. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. I mean, it looks like it has had some changes to it. Troop totals. If you turn that one off, what do you get? Nothing much. Yeah, okay, that's nothing much. Numbers, yeah, that just puts the numbers on there. Yeah, okay, so it is getting some work, but I don't think it's not that different than what it was. Yeah, so it's just a little bit of tweaking by the looks of things there. Yeah, so Battlemate saying the graphs really need to be full page thing with adjustable plots. Yes, it needs to be a proper spreadsheet game. So anyway, you can turn stats on or off, yeah, and that's pretty much it. You can see that all of them are just one. What was the other thing? We've got the aircraft. Now, the aircraft in this game has been, as I say, very impressive. Like, this is my capital back over here, and I'm miles away from everywhere else, so I'm sort of fighting way up in here where I've sort of conquered other areas. This is the airfields that I've actually conquered. I've got them ready, but I'm not going to need that one ultimately. And then we're sort of coming back up this other side. So we've got like airfields ready to go. I've been able to destroy a lot of their airfields as we've been sort of charging up into the jungle, but their capital is back in here somewhere. And but the aircraft have really been doing some damage. In fact, there's a stats page. If we go casualties sustained and have a look at the Sunny. No, it's not the Sunny. It's not the Little Bird. These are my own things. Yeah, we're not seeing the enemy, what the enemy has been able to do. But that's interesting again. Like it would be cool if it actually did have, if it had the, like, you know, if we go to casualty sustained, if we go to infantry, it's not giving me the stats on what caused the infantry problems. It's only got my stuff in here. Yeah, so it's just been additional stuff. Yeah, no, that's nothing much to really worry about. Okay, I'll just leave it. Anyway, that's the stats. So, what did we get up to? Yeah, Jamison saying, maybe a bit of a stupid question for me, but can I join the beta branch through Steam, or is it only available through the forums? Yeah, you can. It's the same deal. So if I just go back out again, I think that's all we wanted to have a look at there. Just quit the game, but the game is improving a lot. The AI has improved a lot. So if we just go back into Steam again, and just go into your library, and just go down to Shadow Empire. So I play now on Steam. I was playing with the other, like with the Matrix version, but I now do play with Steam. Just go to Shadow there. I'll just push that one. So if you just go across, right click again, just go down to properties. So with any game, like you just basically go down to, like this one doesn't have it, for example, but I've got to properties. There's no beta files in here. So if it does have beta files, that's where it will then show. So if I go down to Shadow Empire, right click, go to properties, it will then come up with betas. And in the betas, it's got the open beta down in through there as well. So there is actually, like there's the other ones that I've got, these ones that you have to actually then have a passcode to get into. Like the closed beta was for testing new things in the game that weren't for the public, and the press was for pre-release stuff. But this one here is the open beta is available for anyone. So just opt in, and it's pretty much the same time now that when they get updated. So you don't need to go to the forum. You can just leave it in through there. Yeah, so Battlemate saying, I want to be able to turn off individual ones one at a time like in every other 4X. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that would be much better. Much better. Okay, Tenor is saying, I think naval units should be part of the base game. A DLC for naval units would force players to watch on Waterworlds, or they miss out on the dollars they put in. Well, the Waterworlds are different anyway. You can't build the Waterworlds without the DLC, so it won't generate them. So yeah, but I don't know. I don't know how that should actually then work. Yep, so Tenor is saying a DLC should add to the basic naval stuff. I think that would actually work pretty well. Rex is saying, I still don't understand how to use aircraft. Well, it's the way, I haven't got any aircraft in that game, but it's essentially combined arms. And the way any attack actually works in the game is it all comes down to recon. Recon is essentially really adds a lot to your ability to be able to fight. So you need to get high recon, and the aircraft are great for that. They're not great for killing things off, although they still can do that one. But the ability to get very high recon on a tile is worth its weight in gold. Also, they're great at killing off creatures in the ocean and also other creatures as well. They can sort of strafe down onto aliens and destroy them as well. So, but yeah, it's mainly just to raise the recon before the other attack goes in. Eisen saying both the game and the manual do an awful job of explaining aircraft. Yes. Hi, Andrus. How you going? Let's just go back to this. We'll have a quick look. A few of the other games I've been playing this week as a game that's coming out called Rerun, which is look out for this one. Actually, I'm going to do a video on this one. I've really been quite enjoying it, and it was I think, when does this one come out? If we just go to the store page. I don't think anyone's... Oh, there's one user review now. There wasn't one yesterday. So I think now it's just a bit of a push with this one. But it's a very simple dungeon crawler, but with quite interesting mechanics. And so it's going to be a bit of a beer and pretzels game. The problem with the game currently, and I'll just bring it out of there. The problem with the game currently is that it doesn't actually have a save. Like, it's a full rogue, it's a proper rogue game where you have to play in one sitting, and I hate that. So I did actually contact the developer about that, and he said that within 2 weeks he should have that fixed, because he expects that other people will complain about that as well. I don't mind games being true to rogue to a degree, but there's a point where it just gets a bit ridiculous. But the game is as I say, quite interesting, because you've actually got to make use of the randomly generated terrain that comes into many of the actual maps. The first maps aren't random; they're more tutorial. But then you get into sort of like full-on random maps, and it's very, very good. It's very contained. It is a very quick game to play as well. So look out for that one. So yeah, it's just got like very small maps that then sort of get generated, where you've got like a couple of characters, and you have to then try to either use the terrain or your own abilities to be able to then go and defeat the enemy. And so this one here's got like lava on the ground. There's also sort of like this often sort of traps and things in here as well. And even the actual progression through the game is a bit like the Slay the Spire, where you sort of choose your way through. This is all random as well, which, as I say, works out quite nicely. It's a very quick and easy little game to play, but it's look out for it. So that's coming out on the 29th of May. So when's that? Well, actually today. Release date is today. What was the review? Did someone say, yeah, woo, this game's killing me so many times. I'm happy I kept playing. The mechanics are pretty juicy and deep. The roguelike ability selection really keeps each run fresh. It does. Also, the characters are adorable / hilarious. And normally when I read that, I'd be thinking, oh, yeah, no, don't know about that one. But they actually are quite good. I'd say the closest comparison in terms of gameplay is Into the Breach. Yeah, it probably is the closest. Into the Breach is probably deeper. I would think Into the Breach is a deeper game, but it's very close to that. Where Into the Breach feels like a procedurally generated puzzle game, this one feels like an actual tactics game where you progress and learn new skills. That's true. That's a good review, actually. That's a good review. So yep, no, that's good. So hopefully that game does pretty well. Yeah, hopefully the game does pretty well, because I think that will actually it reminds me actually more of which one is it? I don't know where I've actually put it, to be honest. There's one game that really I think I found it exceptional when it came out, and I can't see it. It must be in here somewhere. Where is it? I've got too many games. Too many games. I was playing it the other day. No, I can't see it there. Yeah, I thought I would have had it up the top there. It won't be Space and Future. It should be in here somewhere. Crawl Tactics, that's the one. Reminds me of probably more of like Crawl Tactics than anything else. If you've got that one, I don't know if you guys have played Crawl Tactics, but that is a very good game. Actually, I'll just go back to Steam again. And we'll just go back across to the store page again. Actually, I'll just go back to library. And click on that library again. Yeah, so anyway, that's Rerun. Yeah, is the release has just come, so all round polish and robustness. So this one is actually going to have some extra stuff coming into it, but that's a really nice, quick little game. That will be a beer and pretzels game. That'll be a coffee break game. when you can save what you're doing. But at the moment, you can't save it, so you really are in there for an hour or so when you're playing, because you can't quit out of the game. Battle Sector, as I say, is really been good. Actually, you can see there in the last couple of weeks, and in fact, just in this last week, I've been playing for 14 hours basically, which is a lot for me with these sort of games. Been really enjoying it. Just want to get my head around how to play it before I start doing some videos on it. Rogue FP, this is one that I did. I've been sort of testing as well. This is a weird game. I'll just show you this one as well. Just go to the store page, and I'll just highlight what goes on. Now, if you played the original Rogue, if you enjoyed the original game of Rogue, then you'll probably enjoy this game. So what it does is it creates like a Rogue type level where you then start to sort of go through your actual dungeon, very much like the original Rogue. And so it's got all the same issues of the original Rogue as well, if you ever did play that game, where it's just too random. It's all over the place. Anyway, it generates it. That's not the way it actually looks. So this is sort of like where you start to. It's just sort of how the game then looks. So it's like Wolfenstein, but in a rogue dungeon, and it's very quick to play. So you got like magical spells. It's actually fun. It's actually a fun little game, and it's got these sorts of different sort of modes and things as well. But it's I've been enjoying it. Like, so this is actually just as you track along. So you've got different sort of monsters. There's not enough monsters in the game, to be honest. That's one thing that's a bit of a problem. It does need some polish. So you've got like the different sort of modes of looking at things as well. Actually, I haven't noticed this mode in it. I haven't seen this one in it. But anyway, that's Rogue FP. So if you do, very Angband. I mean, Angband was basically built on Rogue as well. So Rogue FP is basically a first-person Rogue player, and as I say, it's been I've only played it for a short amount of time, but I've really enjoyed it. So it's sort of it does have 8 reviews. What do people think of it? They came out in March actually, so it's been out for a little while. If you're as old as I am, to have played the original Rogue way back, then this is the same game, only in first person. That's probably the one thing I don't like about it. I wish it wasn't. I wish it was actually beyond that. But it's quite nice to play. So anyway, I'll let you know that's one that I've been playing as well. And as I say, been playing it and having fun with it. Master of Magic. I've really loved this game. It's just been great. Heat Signature has been my go-to beer and pretzels or coffee break game. Has been for a long period of time. I was also playing this week Heroes Hour. I've actually started playing that one as well. We had the giveaways over the last couple of weeks for Heroes Hour, and I've just been playing it and really enjoying it. There is more a strategy in the setups than what I originally had thought, and but it's still fairly basic with the actual setups, but it is enjoyable. Combat mission as well. There's a new combat mission coming very, very soon as well. So I've only played this one for 1 minute just to open it up to have a bit of a look again. But this one, there is actually a combat mission on the Eastern Front, so that will for World War II. X4 Foundations. I know a lot of you have actually always mentioned this one. I've got it now, but I haven't actually sort of played it. Oh wow! Thanks, Brian, for the super chat there. Very, very much appreciated. So, by the way, I really like and appreciate all your work and videos. Thank you very, very much for that. That's extremely generous of you to do that. So, thank you very much. So X4 is certainly coming through. And I'll just read a few more of the comments there. So Brian did actually say before that, hi Daz, wondering if you ever play sports games like Football Manager or Gladiator fighting game. Oh, look, I've actually, I was trying to contact the developer of there's a Gladiator game which I saw and I really want it. And so I contacted the dev, but I haven't actually got it yet. And he hasn't responded back. And I forget what it's called, but it looks really good. It's almost like a, what's the game? The one where you sort of end up with like a squad of units, where you've got like a squad that you sort of bring. What's it called? Battle something? Forgive, my mind's gone blank. Is it under fantasy? It's not under fantasy, be under ancients. Damn, where is it? Oh, Mountain Blade. It's like Mountain Blade 2, but you've only just in control of a single gladiator, and it looks really, really cool. And I think it's called We Who Are About to Die, I think. And so I've tried to contact the developer, but as I say, he hasn't responded back. We Who Are About to Die. And it just looks really, really good. Like, you know, the actual, like, it looks hard, but it looks like a lot of fun. So I do like these sort of games. Actually, I'm very bad at them, but I do enjoy them. So I like those. I also like games where you play the game, but I don't like the management game of different things. There's another game that I was thinking of getting it. There's like AFL 23, which is just come out, but the reviews are really shit. Like, these are like just mixed reviews, and everything I've seen about this game, it looks really, really bad. And it's funny because, I mean, I love AFL as an actual sport. Like, I love watching it. And they've modelled everything incredibly well, the players and everything. But it's just the actual gameplay looks really, really shit from what I can sort of see from when I was looking at it. So that one was a game that I was interested in actually checking that one out, but I'm not going to bother. It's just not going to bother with that one through there. So I things like, you know, what is it, From the Park, or whatever it is, Out of the Park, Out of TP, OOTP. Does that have it? No, I don't. I like the idea of these. Out of the Park Baseball. Yeah, this was one that I had seen. I've always sort of seen these, and I like the idea of it, but I don't like the management aspect of them. The one that I've probably thought was going to be the most fun one to play, which I used to play an awful lot, and I don't play it anymore, is actually a soccer game, which is... where is it now? I know I've still got it installed because I always think, I'll go back and play it again sometime. Football Tactics. So this one here, Football Tactics and Glory. If we have a look at that one, just go back into here. Football Tactics and Glory. This is one that I've actually did originally really, really like, but they've now made it into a management game. And originally it was just a really, really nice turn-based soccer game, and it's still got that aspect to it, but now so much of it is the actual management side of things, where, like, it had really intricate passing. Just see if I can bring this one up so you can see it a bit more clearly. But this one actually, this had each of the players had skills, and so you'd sort of come into the actual game. You had to try to make the most of your players. You had limited action points. The games took hardly any time at all, which is great. Yeah, this is the specialisation. So you'd actually to go back and train your players. That was okay as well, like even the training aspect. But then it just got more and more complex with with all of this stuff and the managerial side. You still had your different groups and things. It went away from what it was for me, and it's a shame because it was a game that I really, really enjoyed when it first came out, when it didn't have all the extra stuff. But it's a fun little game, that one. That is, like you can see there, it's very positive, 90%, 89%. It's got good following. It's saying XCOM meets Football Manager. You know, develop your club. It was that bit of it wasn't in the game much. It was just there very superficially. So that one is actually something that was not great. Okay, so Brandon's saying, Heroes Hour is great. Such a fun modern Heroes of Might and Magic. Like, yes, it's better than what I have, better than my memory of it. And when I started to play it again, I was really quite. I'm impressed with so much of that game. The only thing was the actual combat itself. I wish it was more meaningful. Not this game, but the other game. It was so. The Heroes Hour is a good game. It is a good game. Brendan White's saying so many factions and they all play very differently. Yes, they do. They do. It's not asymmetric so much. So Battlewine saying, "Wow, that's really kind. What a legend!" Yeah. So thanks, Brian. That's very much appreciated. Me, myself, and I are saying Angband is still maintained, as is FA Angband. I can't play those games because I just find them I think that by like now in the 2020s, when you do a roguelike type game or a rogue builder, having just random units in there just doesn't make any sort of sense. Even games like Deity Empires, I think there should be a theme to the levels when you go through a dungeon, and the theme should actually be cohesive. I think Diablo tried to do that, but it didn't do a very good job of it. And so I just feel that there's an opening there. If a developer really got and did it well, I think it would actually be really, really cool, but no one does. So Availability is saying, I used to play a lot of Sword and Sandals on the browser. I never played that one. So Jimerson saying AFL looks kind of like rugby on a cricket pitch. Seems like an interesting sport. Yeah, AFL is the best sport in the world. It seriously is. It's just incredible. It's sort of like, I mean, Australia is divided. Like Australia is basically divided into either rugby states or football or AFL states. And so I'm come from one of the AFL states, so my focus has always been on AFL. And it becomes a bit of a religion. And so those big cricket grounds, I mean, if you go back and have a look at them, AFL 23 in here, it's a game that when people look at it, they don't really understand it, but it is, the actual pitches, like some of the grounds, they hold between sort of 50,000 up to 100,000 people. So that there, don't know which one that actually is, which ground that is supposed to be representing, but they get masses of people coming to the game. So it's funny because people overseas don't really know anything. No, it's not the cricket. I now live in a rugby state where we do have an AFL team, and they're really, really popular. But in the state that I'm living in now, but the cricket is all around Australia anyway. So they always had the cricket pitches, and so the cricket pitches are massive. To put that into perspective, the line between there's a goalpost there and a goalpost there. You've got that line that goes through there. That's 50 metres away from from that particular goal, and because these are played on cricket pitches, the actual pitch, the actual field can be all sorts of different sizes. It's not like a soccer pitch or a gridiron pitch or a rugby pitch where it's always exactly the same distance, like 100 metres. So an actual like it's usually, I think it's 100 metres is like a gridiron or anything like that. So a gridiron pitch would sort of fit like where my cursor is, would sort of be like about there. So that would be about the range of a gridiron pitch. So it's much, much bigger. So it is a cricket pitch that's actually played on. And cricket came first to Australia, but then very soon afterwards, like these games have been played for maybe 150 years, I guess, with still some of the same teams from when they first started. But what they wanted was a sport they could play in the winter on the ovals that they had created for cricket that would keep the cricketers fit for the cricket season. So that was actually where that actually came from. So yeah, there's no cricket states as such, but it's an incredible game. But it's very hard to understand what's going on. Like the rules are, if you're used to any of the other games, the rules often when you look at them, it looks spectacular to watch it, but you won't understand what's actually going on. I've often thought about doing like a short, like just taking one of those highlights reels and just trying to explain how things are played. But it probably would take like half an hour just to explain the nuances in the rules. Like there's certain things you can and can't do. It's a great game though, really, really great game. All right, so where did we get up to? Have you checked out Total Conflict Resistance? Yes, we did we had a good look at that one a few weeks ago now. Actually, it's and that's keeping on getting good updates as well. Can't remember if you did though. I thought you might have. Yes, I have. Yeah, and I probably won't have a look at that one until they do another major update. But that looks really good. Played a lot of football management games, PS1 and PS2, says David. I don't like the management side. I like the gameplay side, but not the management side. It's like Blood Bowl for me is, if it was a good game, like if Blood Bowl 3 was a good game, I'd be much more happy with that because the management is minimal, but the actual gameplay is what it's all about. And that Football Tactics was a bit like that originally when it first came out, but it's now a bit different. Epic Gaming saying hi. So my personal favourite management game is probably Football Manager, mainly because of the detail and depth of managing the team, its reputation and finances. See, I hate that. I sort of I don't know, might as well run your own business if you're going to play those sort of games. So availability, my friend's been playing a lot of Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. That's a great game as a free game. Battlemate saying I'm playing on an Angband-derived roguelike called Silq, a game based on the first age of Tolkien's Middle-earth and the Silmarillion, a beautifully well done game. Never heard of that one. Myself and I was saying first age Angband has themed levels, even a whole themed dungeon. Oh, okay. So yeah, David's saying no cricket states. No, so it really when the football team, when the AFL came to Queensland, which is where I live now, they've got their rugby fields, like their main sort of stadiums for rugby. They hold about 50,000 people, I think, because imagine they're so much smaller. The actual so the soccer and rugby are played on pretty much the same pitches, but the actual cricket grounds didn't really have a purpose, even though they were big stadiums. And so when AFL came, then they could make use of those stadiums as well. So Brisbane's got like one massive cricket field and a couple of rugby stadiums as well. So there's a few different things in through there, which is good. And even like we don't live in Brisbane, we live up on the Sunshine Coast, and that's about an hour and a bit north of Brisbane. And even that's starting to get now stadiums because Brisbane's going to be getting the Olympic Games in 2032. So that's going to be so they're starting to sort of gear up now to get even more sporting stuff actually around where we actually are. Okay, so Booba's saying, do they still have dudes in white lab coats and white pie hats behind the goals in Aussie rules? No, not any. I don't know if they do it just for country games. They probably do, but no, the actual umpires now actually do look different. So they've got an umpire that sits in behind each of the goals to sort of gauge whether it goes through the big sticks or the little sticks. And they used to wear, as you say, these sort of weird looking. Actually, I'll see if I can find one. They were funny. We'll look at AFL goal umpire. Put the word fail in. Now they're more like the yellows. I'll see if I can find one of the old ones. I don't think we're going to find one. There's just different best and funniest umpire moments. I don't know if that's. I'll have a look at that one. Just see if that will sort of show it. Goes for 3 minutes. No, that's what they look like. Just to see if I've got any better settings than this. No, 720 is the most. Okay, so where's the umpire?
The distance, driving it around the outer side. Maybe had the line in mind. Didn't get the bounce he needed Fletcher.
That's an umpire there. They no longer wear white, but that's what they used to wear. So he wasn't supposed to catch that, of course. See if we can find another one. Sorry about the quality of it. So this is the new ones. They wear the yellow. So the umpires are. This is what the umpires look like now. I don't know if I'll show the old ones again. The old ones used to stand behind the goals though. They used to wear these, as you say, lab coats with funny hats. Just see if there's any. Just skim through. So that's another one where they've got to have completely different colours than the teams playing. See if we can find one of the old ones. Now these are all the new guys. Oh, here we go. Here's some of the old ones. Yeah, some of the old stuff is quite funny as well. There's a boundary umpire being hit. So you can hardly tell. He just got hit by a player coming through. So yeah, that's what they look like. That would have been back in the 1960s or 70s. He got collected. Been able to see what's going on there. But no, that was funny. There he goes. Yeah, gives a goal. Anyway, yeah, so they don't have them anymore. But it was funny. So anyway, that's where we are with that one. What did we get up to? So we've got the I think it's available. See, my cousin played for the state team for NRL a few times. I think it was touch football or something like that. There was a they've got touch football, but they're not. You don't play. I don't think you play state for that one. I think that's just sort of like something you just play. There is sevens, rugby sevens. That's actually fairly big. You do play state and internationally for that one through there. Battleman's saying Silkwill removed any of the non-Tolkien lore-friendly stuff, so mostly orcs, wolves, and occasional Balrog and so on. None of the other low fantasy tropes are in. Yep, and Battleman's saying Aussie Rules football is awesome. It's a great game. It really is an amazing game. Bibbo's saying they used to show Aussie Rules on TV here in NI, so over here in the UK back in the late 80s when Paul Hogan was at his peak popularity. Yeah, it's an incredible game. Like there's still like you got to pay a lot of money to be able to watch it, unfortunately, on your TV. They do have some free-to-air games, like we get all the Queensland games, being in Queensland. But the actual team I barrack for is one that's in Melbourne, and it's a little long story, but I'm not from Melbourne. But when we first moved to Melbourne, my grandma, I met my grandma when I was 12, when we moved across there, 12 or 13. Anyway, the first thing she said to me is, "Welcome to Melbourne, you're barracking for Collingwood." So that was sort of the first thing that she actually said. So I've barracked for Collingwood ever since, which happens to be on top of the ladder at the moment. But it's a great little game. Anyway, back to this one through here. Just have a quick look. I think we've pretty much sort of covered most of the stuff we wanted to cover. I think what we might do now is we've gone well and truly over the 2 hours. Distant Worlds 2. Oh, I didn't even mention this. Distant Worlds 2 has now got the hyperspeed update has now come out for it. It has been, if you've been in the beta, you've been slowly being drip fed the hyperspeed update over the last few months. If you're not in the beta, this is now the major update. And so what this one does is it really now does set up Distant Worlds 2 to be developed in all sorts of meaningful ways. And this one does actually bring the game, like Eric did a comment, I think might be his here, where he actually showed the difference between the pre-hyperspeed update and the post-hyperspeed update with a very complex game with like 1,000 ships in a battle, and the difference was incredible. Like it was the frame rate just went through, like it was probably 10 or 15 times faster than the pre-version. So they've done a lot of optimization. So again, if you haven't played Distant Worlds 2 for a while, and again, I would still suggest that you opt into the betas for it, because I've never had a problem with any of the betas that they've done. And you know, as I say, this hyperspeed update is just amazing. I don't know if there's currently a Distant Worlds hyperspeed, a Distant Worlds update you can actually use. So let's have a quick look at properties. Yeah, no, there's not. There's only the closed beta, which I can't show that one because there's stuff coming in that one. But there is often there'll be an open beta as well, and so opt into that when it becomes available again. So they won't have the open betas until they start to then flesh out the next lot of stuff that they're going to be working on. But this really, like just from a performance issue, that's performance-wise, this really has optimized the game incredibly, actually, just looking at what's actually been going on. So that's definitely worth playing again now. Rerun we've spoken about, Rogue FP we've spoken about, Battle Sector. I'm really enjoying this so much. And then we've got the Firepower pack, of course, for Gladius as well. There's been a hot fix for Age of Wonders 4, nothing major with that one. Rust, I don't really play that anymore. Stellaris I haven't played for a long time. Gladius for free again, so we'll just get the one done. This one here, Door Kickers is a game that is worth looking at as well. So this one is actually Door Kickers. I think, when did they have their last? This is just an intermediary update, but they keep on building better and better random maps, and it's a really cool game. It's so much fun to play this one. I really enjoy this, but I don't record it. But it's a great little combat game where you're sort of like it's a real time pausable active pausable real time where you give your instructions during the pause phase. You can see there the change list. There's just so much stuff that they keep on bringing in. You know, it's when was this one? Yeah, May the 10th. There's more than this. I mean, I just looked at the date down from the other one, and that was saying back in September, but it was there's certainly been more updates than what we're seeing through there. But anyway, there's that's worth picking up as well. Okay, so Bibo saying they used to we did that one. Availability saying is Distant Worlds 2 Stellaris, but on crack. Drexy saying Sean loves this DK2 Distant Worlds 2. So Bellman saying he's got me a copy of it too. Door Kickers 2. Yeah, he got me a copy of it too. I need to play it again. Good game. It's a great game. Really, really cool game. So that's actually that's a game that's again really worth playing if you like those sorts of squad-based games. It's very cool. So David Battler is saying that sounds like XCOM Apocalypse, but also used pausing. I'm not sure. This is I really liked Frozen Synapse, the game Frozen Synapse when that was out. This Door Kickers 2 is heaps better than that. I still really like the idea of Frozen Synapse. I wish that they made a version 2 of it, but it wasn't very good. But I liked what they did with the original Frozen Synapse. What else have we got? We've got Farwell Pioneers. This is now going into full version. I haven't played much of this one, so that's just releasing it at the moment. This one was called something different when it first came out. It's very much like Starbound, but I can't think of what it was called. It was called something very, very different. I'm probably not going to say it in here, is it? Just have a quick look down the bottom here. It's all Farwell Pioneers there. But originally, when it first was being developed, it was actually developed under a different name. They probably had to get rid of any mention of the other name. I think there was a problem with the rights for the name. If I just go back, it's only January. I think it's January of 2022. It should be the. It looks like they've actually changed all the actual names. Yeah, they've changed the. They've changed the names of it, I think, because back in here it was called something quite different. Yeah, I can't think of what it is. Anyway, that's like a Starbound type game. There's your Gladius again, major update for free. There's Total Conflict Resistance again, great. This is going to be so good. I'm just want to wait a few more for some big updates, then I'll play that one again. Tome I haven't played for a long time. Probably not really interested in it. This is one of these other ones where the actual people you fight against have got no real bearing on like there's no real cohesion there. Public beta available in through there. Hearts of Iron, yeah. Let's just go back. If you are saying the battle mode is saying the Door Kickers has got some good mods for it too, does it? I didn't realise it had mods. Let's have a look. Door Kicker 2. Yeah, it does have a workshop. Oh, it's just maps though. No, it's only maps. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's 5,000 missions. And 0 of everything else. So yeah, I just tend to play the random maps. But so yeah, there's heaps and heaps of online content for it, but only missions. I don't think there's anything else. I sort of thought there'd be, like, you know, they've got it there for total conversions and things like this, but they just haven't. No one's done it. It's just all missions. Which is, I mean, you can see like 5,000 missions though. That's an awful lot of replayability. If you go to the most subscribed, yes, it's just all maps. There's Air Force One. So you'd sort of be taking over a plane. Yeah, no, it's interesting game. Anyway, it's there's certainly a lot there. It's got Overhaul Mod 2. Might not be on Steam Workshop. Yeah, it mustn't be actually. So Battlemate is saying that there is an Overhaul mod. Yeah, I've only ever seen the maps, but it's a really, really cool game. Actually, what does it rate? What does everyone think of it? If we just go back to the store page for it. Yeah, overwhelmingly positive, 96%. It's a great game, really, really cool game, and it just keeps on getting better and better and better. The actual game itself. So you sort of you set up your points. You know how different units are going to then sort of be going through the actual map itself, trying to sort of get rid of incursions. It's done very, very well. There's some sort of RPG guy in through that side. Yeah, no, it's really quite cool. Showed me one set in the post-apocalyptic setting. Oh, okay. I'll have to have a look at that then in that case, because I do love this game. Like, it's a very, very cool game. I'm just really bad at it. It's another one of those games that I enjoy, but it's sort of a bit embarrassing to show an actual gameplay of it. Anyway, let's leave that one there. So I think what we'll do is we'll do our marble run. We've certainly gone well and truly over the time I normally sort of have for this. And so what I'll do is I'll get you guys to... I'll just go back into Nightbot. Log in. Now, just to be absolutely clear about this, guys, there's no giveaway today. This is just for bragging rights, which basically means it's only for, you can say, hey, I won. You can win if you don't have Gladius, you can get Gladius. So, but all of you can get that anyway. So everyone's a winner today. So I'll just go keyword, and I'll just do the keyword. I'll just put winner. So if you guys just type in winner as the actual word, you can then be at least in the marble run. It is just for bragging rights. So Booba saying I have DK1. It was more of a police SWAT feel compared to DK2 by the looks of it. Yeah, DK2 is quite different. It is a lot more polished than DK1 was. I used to enjoy the DK1 as well. I liked all those sort of games. Frozen Synapse was a game I really liked because of the random maps. Michaela saying, hey, I won too soon. So if you want to be in the marble run, just type the word winner in, and it should then appear in here. It is case insensitive. It should show up in a second here, guys. I hope. It's not showing up. Why is that not showing up? Doesn't want to play. Am I in the right spot? Sorry guys, I think we may have to do this again. I'm just going to bow out of that one again, and we'll just go back in again. Sorry, I'm going to have to... I may have gone into the Twitch version. That's looking better. Giveaways. I'll just type in I'll just put I'm in, so IMIN. We'll just try that. It's not actually picking up anything, guys. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm not sure what's going on. God, why aren't you picking it up? Game? It's dashboard. Just wait a second, guys. Just wait a second. I'm not sure why it's not actually logging into YouTube. No, this is Twitch. Just let me go back to the other one. No, that's still Twitch. Okay, I'm going to have to try this a different way. Sorry. I'm going to ditch this. I'll just get rid of the extra stuff that we've got open. And I'll try it one more time. Nightbot. I'll log in. Yeah, this is not where we want to be. Log into YouTube. I'll just try it this way. Sorry guys, I'll just go into here. Hang on, I'll just do it on the other screen. This might not be a good thing to do. That's looking. There we go. That's better. That's better. So I think we're back. Okay, we've got giveaways. So now we'll try it again. So I'll put a different word in this time, just so we get it this time. So marble should now work. So if we just go and just type the word marble in, and then we should be in. Hopefully this works. Yeah, there we go. So it's now seeing the chat on the other side. So we'll go with that one. I think everything is still working. Still got green lights, but there's no chat now. What has gone on here? Don't tell me this has actually now destroyed my... Nope, that's still going. There we go. Now it's coming in. It's about a 20-second delay. And it's not picking it up here. Damn it. Damn it, damn it. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now it's coming in. Now it's coming in. So, Curry Puncher's still got winner there. So we'll let it come in. Yeah, thanks for being part of the chat again today, guys. It's much appreciated, and thank you also for that super chat there, Brian. That was really, really cool. Very humbling. So thank you for that. Okay, so is that everyone? Everyone's so down to Jack. No one else wants to be part of it. You win nothing, of course. You win absolutely nothing. It's just bragging rights for today. So go down to where Drexy is down the bottom there. Just go and copy, and I'll have to set this up as well. Sorry, I had some file, open recent marble names. Okay, just get rid of all of these. Control V. Got 24 names, so I'll put mine in there as well. Okay, and just go back across to find and replace. God, it's actually really slow. Oh, there we go. And we need to do the slash. Oh, it doesn't want to play. Slash T, is that picking it up? It's the other way. There we go. That's got it. Replace all. That's done it. So we'll save that one. Okay, so so Brendan's saying, thanks, Daz, ordering a mug and t-shirt today. Actually, I'm wearing my hoodie, which I don't know if you can sort of see, but it's got the thing on the back there. It's really quite good, actually. I really like the quality of it. So yeah, this is for bragging rights only. Bragging rights only. Or if you don't have Gladius, you can go and grab Gladius for free today. So we'll get into this one. So that one's now done. So 25 names is what we have to set up. Let's just go back, and Marble Run is at the top. Carrie Munch is saying, don't see my name. Oh, did you? It should be there. Hang on. I'll just have a look in just a second. Just let it all load in. Oh, you did see it in the end? God, this is really slow. Here we go. So we're just... so it thinks I'm on Twitch. That's the trouble with this one here. So we'll just go down to races. And we'll play we'll look for one that's around about 2.5 minutes on thin ice. That sounds good. So we'll just go across to the settings for this one. This is going to have add names. We're going to clear the list of names. We're going to open up that list. Marble names, done. And so we've got 25. We finish that one. Just come back across. And change that one to 25. And it's going to give me a simulation only. So, yeah, good luck, guys. Did you see your name in there, Curry Muncher? Was it in there? David saying hoodie for the win. Yeah, no, it's I'm really impressed with the. I mean, you can see there the colour of what of my face is right off. Actually, it's sort of it's not as dark as what she's showing, I think, on the screen, but it's not as light as the graphic that's on the screen as well. It is sort of like a fairly dark grey, but it's yeah, it looks good. Okay, well, let's get the race. Yeah, still saying thanks for the free Gladius. I feel like a winner today already. Wait, saying, can I jump in? Yeah, you can. Yep. All right. So 26. Just go back into the settings and add names. See, there's Curry Muncher there. So the other one is going to be Boxster. Yeah, you don't want to miss out on this one. This is the big one. So, yeah, so that's all good. All right. Good luck, guys. 26 of you. The race is going to start. This is going to be some ice thing or whatever it is. We don't know what that actually is. And we'll see what actually happens here. It looks interesting. So snow globe. So we'll start the race. Good luck. Here we go. So the first one out is Gyrux, followed by Dave Flute, and can't see clearly who's in there. Actually, got Dave. So it's Jamison, Gyrux, Battle Mode, Jack, Serenity, Dave Flute. They're the first lot through. Is anyone going to drop off the list? We've got Battle Mode coming through this side. No one's gone the other way just yet. So Battle Mode way out in front. Now, is this one of these maps here? There's going to be a bit of slowing down here. Okay, so we've got a bit of a loop there. So still Battle Mode way out in front. But just press number 1. We can then sort of go this way, picking up a lot of speed. Now these are jumping off the ground here. Has anyone fallen off yet? No one's fallen off. Ooh, that's a bit dangerous. Whoa! No, that was just ice. So I think we've still got Battle Mode way out, straight through as well. Yeah, so some of the others have now fallen off on the other side. Okay, we've now got a new leader. They've actually gone down this other way. So they've taken the shortcut. So it's now Brandon Peach backing through this side. It looks like Jack's now in front. Dave Flute has made its way through. So Dave is now in the lead, followed by Jennison. So it's still Dave, just making his way down, and that looks to be the end. So it's pretty close here, actually. It is pretty close. Hang on, where is it? Oh, no, it's still not the end. Now it's the end, once you get through this bit of it. So it's Jennison trying to make his way through. That's the first. Whoever drops first. There we go. Veering Games, Jennison second, and then we've got Jack Timberlake. I don't think anyone actually dropped off the list. Voxstar coming back in there. We've still got Gyrux. Actually, Gyrux was way out in front at the start. And is now coming. Oh, nearly dropped. Nearly dropped. So coming through now. Still got a few more making their way down. Anyway, guys, thanks again for being part of today's session. And sorry I don't actually have any giveaways for today, but you'll see how we sort of go in the coming weeks. But yeah, that was good stuff. So yeah, Gyrux is the last one through. No one actually fell off the game this time. In fact, I thought that you guys were when you were going back to that other section, but you've sort of made your way through. There we go. Veering Games, you win absolutely nothing. So congratulations. Battlemate saying, "Damn, I peaked too soon." I don't know if when you went past, if you then created the hole that everyone else went back through. Some of you made it across the top, which slowed you right down. So we've got Jerison saying, "I feel like Alfonso in the Marco Grand Prix qualification." Yep, so I'm third loser, says Jack Timberlake. And David's then saying, "Good game." Yeah, well done, guys. Well done. We will stream on Twitch later on. If my voice comes good, and normally it does. I had a bit of reflux last night, and it just it does play havoc with my throat. But I'll probably, because it's not going to be my normal time, I might just go back and play again on YouTube, actually, and just play some more of more Gladius on YouTube, I think. I don't know about Twitch. Yeah, I'm not sure about Twitch. I think I'll do Twitch tomorrow. So Battleman's saying, "Dad, your throat sounds better now." It does come good. It just takes a long time, that's all. And so, yeah, so it's whenever I just eat a little bit, just a shade too much, and that's what causes it, unfortunately. And I did eat a little bit. It was, my wife made a really, really nice goulash last night, and I did go in for seconds, and I never should. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for watching, and congratulations, Veering Games, on winning absolutely nothing. So we'll see how we go next week. I'll catch you guys then.